It's game time. WNKX welcomes you to this live presentation of local high school sports, made possible by our community advertising partners.
Welcome back to WNKX, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josh Copley. I'm joined by our color commentator for the night, Cameron Peters. We did have some technical difficulties. We apologize for the stream cutting out, but we are back and should be with you until the very end of the boys' game. But so far, this girls' game, it has been all Marshall County, but they do get Marshall County on a walk, Hickman County ball. And Cam, we saw the three-pointer by Floyd earlier, and that has been it for Hickman County. What do we need to see for them to start to get some momentum going?
I would say a prioritization of good shots. We got a lot of shots up so far, but the quality of the shots is the topic of the issue. But here I already see better offensive movement, so I'm sure Coach Gordon talked to him about it. That was a great shot there.
But unfortunately, it just doesn't fall, and Marshall County on a breakaway kicks it back out. Three-pointer from the wing, no good. Nice tip there by Chilton Gordon. Follows up and takes it down the right side of the court, gives to Floyd. They cross the midcourt logo. Floyd wants to drive, goes up, and it is swatted away, and it goes out of bounds on Marshall County. It will stay with Hickman, but see, Cam, that's what I've loved seeing. Floyd is trying to take initiative. She does get subbed out, but she's trying to light a fire under this team by driving to the basket, trying to make some good shots.
Absolutely. Like I said, a good shot. That's what we need. Good shots go in eventually. You just got to keep shooting them.
Bentley with the ball top of the key here. Swings it to Chilton. Back to Warren. Kicks it to Gordon. Gordon looking for someone to pass it to. Tries to find King, but it's knocked away. The Tigers back in control. Marshall currently leads the Bulldogs 10-3 with 5:40 to go in the first half. The layup is up and good by Bird. And Cam, they have been absolutely killing us in the paint so far tonight. Their threes have not fallen hardly at all, but it's been those layups, those short underneath shots.
There are two criticisms that are killing us in this game. It is our help side defense, which also hurts us on rebounding. And that is the story of the game so far. Marshall County has not scored much. When they are trying to shoot a face-up jumper or trying to make a move, they're not executing. It is the offensive boards that they're killing us on, and we have to match that with our defensive rotations. So that's what I want to see from our girls from here on.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if that exact thing is what Coach Gordon is talking with them about right now in the huddle, right? It's no secret what's been going on in this game. Marshall County hasn't been trying to hide their identity as a basketball team. So what I'm looking to see, I want to see Zoe Chilton, I want to see Delaney King get more physical. I want to see more box outs. They have the size, they have the power to do so. They've just been lacking that aggression, that killer instinct so far tonight against Marshall County.
And it's the classic, like, you had a really good game last time and you don't come out with the energy that you had the first one. And it happens to all of us. It happened to me a million times in any sport. But here we got to decide. We're going to go all in on defense, offense, and the offense had looked great coming out of the first quarter.
Gordon with the ball, kicks to Bentley, who's on the left wing, tries to find Warren. A little bit of miscommunication there, but a nice shot by Chloe to recover. She's going to try to drive to the right corner, nothing going, being well covered, finds King. A nice pass to Gordon in the paint, but Gordon unable to handle it, and they will call a jump ball.
That was wonderful offense, though. The pass was a little off, but looking for a shot on the inside. That's what you got to ask for, and that's what they're getting. That was, although it didn't end in a bucket, it does show that they are finding their groove.
I think that's really all you can do. Of course, in the first half, you're still learning, right? This is only the second game of the season. You still don't know your opponents all that well. You can do your research, and you can find out what seniors they lost, but you never know what a team will bring until you actually play them on any particular night, and that's what Hickman County's doing. They're trying to learn the identity of Marshall County, trying to find ways to adjust and counter it. And the whistle will blow, and that will be a walk on Marshall County. So Hickman County has been getting some breaks. so far between offensive fouls. There's been a few already on Marshall County, and now a couple of walks now added to that. Hickman County just can't capitalize on the mistakes that the Tigers are making.
I like what I just saw from the defense. Coach Gordon has switched to a 2-3 zone, and that's going to help with the rebounding. That gives somebody in help at all times, or at least it should. And the girls look really comfortable on defense right there. So I really love that.
And Warren, such a nice drive by the baseline. The layup teetered on the rim for so long, but eventually falls out. So no bucket there for Warren, but again, a great look. Nice recovery there by Marshall County. They're going to drive into the paint, tosses it up, no good, won't fall. And again, just unable to rebound, and Hickman County will be called on a shooting foul. Marshall will go to the line, and Cam is just so frustrating watching underneath. So many missed shots by Marshall County that we're just not taking advantage of.
And right there, as you see, the biggest issue with a zone defense is when you're in transition, because right there, the girl bringing the ball down made it uncomfortable for the zone to be set up, and that's what you can't allow. And Marshall County did a great job right there, not letting us get it set up. But again, it was a good recovery. We just got to rebound.
And the free throw, the first one will not fall. Number 2 on the way. It is up, and it is good. Marshall County widens their lead to 10, 13-3 our score. Just under 4 minutes left to play in the first half. So Floyd with the ball takes it by the midcourt stripe, finds Gordon. Gordon swings to Bentley on the left wing, tries to find. It looked like she was looking maybe for Warren, or was Floyd a little late on her break there?
I would say she was looking for Warren, unsuspecting backdoor cut. Great idea. You just got to know. And like we talked about earlier, it's early in the season, so that stuff's going to happen.
So Marshall County taking over, ball on the right wing. Passing at the free throw stripe. Tries a little touch pass there.
Excellent foul there by Chilton. It's a push-off. Offensive foul. Excellent. Even better. Zoe right there was very physical, and that girl was just bumping her around. But that's exactly what you want to see. That was good.
So Hickman County once again benefiting from an offensive foul on Marshall County. Let's see if they can cap off and get some points on the board. Of course, a 10-point deficit, it's not insurmountable. Of course, with this high-powered offense that we saw on Tuesday, they can bring this game back in the blink of an eye. Chilton drives in the paint, kicks out to Warren. Warren driving in, finds Floyd, left wing, pumps, drives in, left-handed layup, no good, and that took an awkward bounce around the rim. Man, Hickman County just cannot get it to fall, but Floyd does draw a foul, and she will go to the line.
Josh, I think we saw something that was huge. Marshall County is in a 2-3 zone. The best killer to a 2-3 zone is making the person in the middle make a decision. And driving the middle, getting the ball in the middle, makes that person make a decision.
Floyd is 2 for 2 on her free throws, and Hickman County cuts it down 13-5. 3 minutes to go in the first half here from Lewisburg. Marshall, ball top of the key, swings it right wing. Open three-pointer is no good. Kicks off the rim, rebounded. Put back by Marshall County. This time it falls. That is Ridley with the putback, and she has been on fire here tonight for the Tigers. Floyd driving in quickly, short mid-range jumper. No good, but they do draw a foul, and Floyd, that is the girl you want to see at the free throw line, Cam.
Absolutely. She just knocked down the last two. And I want to see this from everybody on the floor right now. Putting your head down and trying to go get a bucket is never a bad thing. And right now, I think that's what we need is the ambition to get to the basket. Because the other night we saw at the start of the game, they're going to the basket. And tonight, you got to start that way so that you can condense them and then spread them back out.
And Floyd's second free throw will fall. 15-6 now your score. Marshall County tries to pass the ball into the paint. Three-pointer well short, well defended, and the referees will signal that it was tipped. So it will stay with Marshall County. But Cam, as you said, that's just a miraculous job of defense there to prevent the three-pointer.
I think our girls are comfortable, more in tune with the game right now. I think they came out, I don't know if they were nervous or just weren't in the feel of the game, but right now I think we really see them picking up.
And again, a great block. Chloe Warren there, the culprit. Now, while it does stay with Marshall County, Hickman County is now starting to have that aggression. We're starting to see that fire start to make itself seen. So here we go, Marshall County ball in the right corner, open three here. The whistle blows, and they will call off the shot. And it will be a push, it looks like. Hickman County ball, yet another offensive foul by the Tigers.
That's keeping us in the game, Josh, and you can never complain about that. That's from our effort. Anytime you see an offensive foul, it's a lot to do with the defensive effort, and that's a good thing to see.
And Floyd tries to drive to the basket, but it is knocked out of her hand. And a nice job there by Chilton to force the jump ball, and it will be Hickman basketball. The possession arrow serves me right. Chilton looks to be the one inbounding here for the Bulldogs. Looking, finds Gordon at the left corner, dribbles back to the wing, and finds Floyd top of the key. Floyd back to Warren. Warren pumps and dribbles to the top, finds Bentley. Bentley swings it to Chilton. Chilton driving to the basket, puts it up, no good, but a very powerful drive there by Chilton, and her going up there trying for the shot forces a foul. Chilton to the line, and a chance for Hickman County to slowly but surely climb back into this game.
Josh, we saw there a switch back to man defense, and I think our girls immediately saw that and took advantage of it. They are making a priority in that position to get to the rim.
So Chilton misses her first, second one on the way, and it's good. She drills it. So Hickman County now an 8-point deficit. 15-7 is your score, under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Marshall County takes it by the midcourt stripe. Ball at the left wing, the whistle blows. And Coach Steely will take a timeout for the Tigers as he wants to reassess and put together a game plan to get more points on the board for the Tigers. If you're Coach Gordon and the rest of the staff, you have to find a way to keep tightening up this defense, to keep them confident, to remind them that this is still a basketball game.
Absolutely, and you can definitely tell they picked it up on that side of the ball. It's tough to make sure that you're in the game mentally when you're the weak side, and picking up somebody to box out. That's been the one thing in the zone that I haven't seen that was great. But outside of that, energy's up, and you can't ask for anything more.
So we're back out of our timeout here. The Tigers inbound, have it at the top of the key. The pass is swung back. Right corner, nice job by Warren to get her hand in there and knock the ball out of bounds. And it looks like they have been trying to rely on Steely outside the perimeter so much. And Steely inbounds it. Driving to the basket, loses a handle. Nice job there. Bentley passes it down to Gordon. Gordon looking for Floyd, and it is stolen away and tipped back by Chilton. What a hustle play by Zoe. And the ball looked like it hit the baseline, but they don't call it. Man, that could have gone either way. Of course, my view not the best from where we're sitting. But, man, Zoe gave it her all.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree there with that call.
So now the Tigers back in control. Steely with the ball at the right wing, passes it underneath the Bird. Bird layup, no good, won't fall. Gordon on the rebound. And they are hustling down the court from the right side, passing to Bentley, top of the key. Bentley finds Chilton, no one underneath, and the 2-point layup is good by Chilton.
I think it starts there with our girls getting to the basket. That was a great shot, great offense, and you see where it started on the defensive side and rebounding.
So the Tigers back in control, ball at the left wing, kicks it back to the top. Steely, right wing, look to shoot, pump fakes, pulls it down. Steely back to her again, tries to drive around the right baseline, mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded by Floyd. 35 seconds to go in the game. Hickman County trails by 6. Floyd looking to set up. Warren, open look from the left wing, no good, kicks off the rim. Bentley, back to Warren, to Floyd, a long range three, no good and out of the rim. 20 seconds to go.
Only great offense right there, Josh. You can't complain about that. 2 good shots.
and the whistle blows. They will get Hickman County on the foul. I think they got Nola Kate waiting for the official ruling. There were a couple of Lady Dogs in the area. And Cam, did they get Floyd on that foul there?
They did.
It looks like they did, yes. Number 20, Ava Floyd, the guilty party on the foul. The Tigers now inbounding from the baseline underneath their basket. Kicks it to the right corner. Wide open look, right wing. A little bit of hesitancy, and it's no good. Under 10 seconds now. The Bulldogs need to be locked down. Steely deep from three, and it's good. And that will take us to the end of the first half. And Cam, that is a backbreaker there. They gave Steely way too many open looks. She's clearly the one they're wanting to go after from beyond the perimeter.
Yeah, it's tough to end the half like that, but I think that prior to that, we found our stride, and if we come out in the second half and can remotely match what we were doing, I think we're in this game totally.
But now, Cam, it all comes down to the adjustments that are made by Coach KJ Smith, Coach Ben Bentley, and Coach Gavin Gordon. I'm excited to see what game plan they have for this second half. Of course, only trailing by 9, this game is not over by any means. I think the fact that Hickman County is still in this game after all of the mistakes that we've made up to this point is a testament to how good this team truly is.
I would totally agree. That paired with the offensive fouls and turnovers from Marshall County, they have been sloppy, to say the least, on that side of the ball. But our girls, you can tell when they went to that zone, they were very confident in it. And I think as long as you continue in that, and I think Coach Gordon will, that's a difference maker, because you saw the energy pick up when they got that one turnover or that the push off. So I think those are huge.
So we have about 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go until the second half begins. Ava Floyd leading the Lady Dogs in scoring with 6 points on the day, 3 of those coming at the free throw line. Of course, the 1-3 she made to open the game. And Zoe Chilton on her tail with 3 points of her own, bringing the Lady Dogs to the score of 9. But I expect to see this offense pick up. And we haven't even seen Haley Gordon get involved in the shooting game yet, and we know she is an absolute weapon for these Lady Dogs. So once again, we look forward to what they can do. We'll be back here in just a few moments on WNKX.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists? It's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection.
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cut in the shareable square.
That's delicious.
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago tavern-style recipes for just $12 each.
Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Apology accepted.
And before we cut back to the action, ladies and gentlemen, we are only about a minute away from second half basketball. A special thank you to these sponsors that you see on your screen. MLEC, Ascension St. Thomas, Advocate Auto Body, Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the Hut, Liberty Pharmacy, and the McDonald Funeral Home. Folks, without these sponsors that we have, there would be no WNKX broadcast. So if you see any representative of these fine organizations in your community, say hello and tell them thank you. So as we cut back here, ladies and gentlemen, we are now under a minute to go until the second half. And Cam, we talked about some of the keys that Hickman County needed to get back into this game. So what do you think this halftime meeting looks like from Coach Gordon? What do you think it looked like?
My best assumption is he asking for effort. I think, and we saw that, especially in the second quarter, it picked way up. But it starts with effort, and that is doing the little things, which is help side defense and rebounding, and that has been the difference in Marshall County's mistakes. Capitalizing on those is going to change as long as they continue making them, even if they don't make them. Capitalizing on every opportunity we have, because on the offensive end, right in the last, I'd say 4 minutes of the last quarter, we found it, and I hope we can continue that.
So now the ball has been inbounded by the Tigers, and we are underway with the second half. And some nice defense by the Dogs. Bentley all over the right wing. Now top of the key, it's Steely to Ridley, and it falls short off the rim. But Ridley gets her own rebound, drives into the paint, throws it up, no good. But they will get Hickman County on the foul, and that will send Ridley to the line.
Josh, there really wasn't much you could say or complain about that. Great rotations. I was very impressed with the weak side defender. They were all over the person on the backside, which is exactly what you need in a zone. And if they continue that, they will reap that reward. That was just a funky rebound.
So Ridley's first free throw up and good. And the second one falls as well. So that widens the gap to 11. The Tigers lead 20-9. And I do want to welcome at this time, ladies and gentlemen, our cameraman for the evening, Aiden Weber. The Dogs, nice pass to Bentley in the paint. And what a layup by Nola Kate.
That was beautiful basketball there, Josh. Perfectly executed, looking exactly where they need to make an easy basket happen. And I want to see that continue.
And Steely with the long three, no good, rebounded by the Tigers. Steely again, up top, drives into the paint, mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded by Bird, and Bird kicks it back out. Ridley from three, no good, kicks off the rim. And again, the Tigers with another offensive rebound. And nice defense by the Dogs, and Floyd there to catch the ball off the tip. And Hickman County now in control.
We need to get this ball moving early in our offense, making them uncomfortable. Beautiful.
And King up and good. Nice ball movement there by the Lady Dogs, and a great pass by Warren to set up Delaney with her third point of the game. Or her second point of the game, my bad. Her first bucket on the game.
Great effort there by Chilton, jumping on that to get a jump ball. That is exactly what we need to get back in this game and beat these Marshall Tigers.
So Chilton will be the one passing it in. Floyd there to receive. Floyd crossing the midcourt stripe, guarded by Ridley. Finds Chilton at the free throw line. Bentley from three, no good. And Warren, some fantastic hustle to get the rebound. Tries to dribble out, finds Bentley. Floyd, open look from the left wing. Good!
Josh, that's a result of good ball movement and good offense. That play drawn up by Coach Gordon right there was perfectly executed, and you couldn't ask for anything better.
And the Bulldogs all over, and Bentley with the steal. Chilton now taking it up the left side of the court. finds King to Bentley. Warren to Floyd from the top of the key. No good. But rebounded by the Lady Dogs. Warren takes it back out to the right wing. Now to Floyd. Floyd driving at the free throw line. Passes out to Chilton from deep. It's good! Zoe Chilton.
This is exactly what we talked about right as the half ended. The energy, they just brought it out, and it is changing the way this game is being operated. The Lady Dogs have full control of the pace.
And there has been such a momentum shift. Of course, Coach Steely having to take his first time out of the second half. And if you're Coach Gordon, you start to smirk a little bit because you see your team get back into it. Right now, 5:12 to go in the third, and Hickman County has already brought it back within a point. The Tigers only lead by a score of 20-19.
I think the biggest thing seeing them come out of this half is the way that they're shooting the basketball. They're not shooting hoping it goes in. They're shooting it knowing that it's going to go in.
So Cam, we knew it was only a matter of time before young Ava Floyd got hot. We knew that first three that she made at the start of the game would not be the last. But what I love seeing as well is seeing Zoe Chilton getting involved. Of course, we know she's a threat underneath, but she's even showing her prowess from beyond the perimeter. And Delaney King now, we talked about her and Chilton being big difference makers underneath. Delaney starting to do that, of course, with that bucket we saw just a few moments ago.
Absolutely. You see one go in, and it just keeps going. That confidence in game, the first half you're struggling getting points, you're getting beat on the boards, you're getting out hustled. That gets you down. Immediately coming out of the half, going, putting buckets in, getting rebounds, great defense. It changes the whole look of the game.
And Steely now with the ball. Ridley to Steely from three. No good, just short. And the ball goes beyond the half-court line, and they will get the half-court violation. And this Hickman County Lady Dog defense has certainly stepped up their game. Hickman County back in possession. Chilton to pass it in to Warren at midcourt. Warren to Floyd at the right wing. Floyd, King, top of the key, finds Bentley, a beautiful pass, and Nola Kate capitalizes. The layup is good, and Hickman County back in front for the first time since the first quarter.
That's beautiful basketball right there, knowing where and exactly when you are going to pass that ball
no good.
in.
Chilton with the rebound. Sorry to cut you off there, Cam.
Oh, you're good. You're good. The thing I see is these girls know what they're doing. They just weren't as confident in it at the start of the game. Now they are playing how they practiced, and you are seeing it right here, the confidence.
And Bentley from three, no good. It looked good from here. And Chilton, nice hustle rebound. Swings it across coast to Warren at the right wing, and they call a walk on Warren, so it will be a turnover. Tiger ball. But Cam, we've already seen probably twice the rebounds that we had in the first half.
You can see it in their faces. There's a whole different mentality coming out of the second half. I don't know what Coach Gordon said, but he needs to keep saying it.
So the Tigers now on offense. Ridley with the ball, right wing. Pass it, Steely. Open look from the left wing. No good. Rebounded by Bentley.
That is the danger of a 2-3 zone. Overextending it up or overextending it to one side. They have got a good job, Marshall County has, of getting our girls to one side. But I think we've done a great job of recovering, and we know that 24 is the shooter. So we're not even worrying about making a really good closeout. I like how aggressive we're approaching her, making her put the ball on the floor or just jacking up a shot.
And a nice pass to Bentley by Chilton. Nola Kate unable to get the ball to fall, but a foul is called on the Tigers, and that will send Nola Kate to the line.
You know, Josh, at the start of this broadcast, you talked about the youth of this team, and this team has not necessarily a youthful feel to them. They have a confidence now that you can really see a big difference being made. in the confidence, not only in themselves, but each other.
So the first free throw there by Bentley, not going to fall. Number 2 on the way. Once again, hits off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Ridley, and the Tigers on the drive now. They'll have to set up. Driving in, nice defense by Bentley, forcing Ridley to lose some control there. Oh, look for a 3, well guarded by Warren. And the Lady Dogs. This defense has been suffocating in this half. Ridley, the pass, the 3, no good, off the mark. And it was rebounded by the Tigers, but I believe they said her foot was on the baseline. Hickman County basketball.
Yeah, we've done a great job pushing them up and making them come inside the zone. If you see, the zone is a little more spread out and up. And so that's forcing them to get the ball, to make the choice. You're either going to get it to the baseline or you're not going to get a bucket. And we have great help sides so far that's there to stop that baseline. So great effort on defense.
And a pass there. I like the idea, but just out of the reach of number 0, Delaney King. Tigers take over again. Steely, the left corner, mid-range for Thomason. Thomason drains the mid-range shot, and that's just a nice shot there. You can't really do much about that.
Yeah, that was great defense, great execution by Marshall County. You taking and making the open shot, but if you're going to give up a shot, that's the shot you want to give up every time.
Now Floyd with the ball, looking to answer back. Screen set by King. Floyd driving in. It's knocked away by Ridley, but they will get Ridley on a foul.
The one critique I have when we go to a ball screen with these girls right now is I want to see a little more movement on the weak side, because especially if you see NBA games or high-level college games, they will scoot up to get in the where the driver can see them better and get an open shot. I would love to see a kick there.
And a shot there by Gordon not going to go. Looks like she tried to force something that wasn't there. Now Ridley driving into the paint. And that, a very nitpicky foul there. It looked like some good defense in the paint by the Dogs.
Yeah, right there. The only thing that can cause that both her arms weren't up, just one was. I disagree with the call, but if you don't make sure that both of them are up, they'll call you for it every time because, you know, refs.
And the first free throw by Ridley is good. 23-21 Tigers, now your score. But Hickman County certainly has made this an interesting game, and we knew they would. And I think if you're Hickman County, you got to hold on to that momentum. Second free throw on the way, rattles around, and it is good. 3-point lead now for the Tigers, a minute and a half to go. In the third quarter, finds Floyd open from the corner. No good, off the rim. And they're certainly trying to put the ball in their playmakers' hands, but just didn't fall there. Ridley driving again to the paint. Open look from the corner, well overshot, but rebounded by Bird. And Bird, the freshman, puts it up and in. And now Coach Gordon having to call a timeout here in this second half to try to reassess and to get his team pulled back together.
That was a great timeout there. They're getting a little momentum and using that timeout to kind of pause that momentum, not let them get in the flow. Right thing to do. But the Marshall County on offense has, I feel like they're the kind of team that needs to see a couple go in, and then that confidence starts coming back. And what was making the difference is our willingness to get up in them as they were getting ready to shoot and forcing them to put the ball on the floor. I think that if we continue to make them put the ball on the floor, you saw them get sloppy, have those in the first half, have those illegal screens, have push-offs, that type of thing, and that'll create them putting the ball on the floor will create that.
So following the Coach Gordon timeout, Chilton tosses it into Floyd, and Hickman County needing a bucket here to answer back. The referee blows the whistle, and they will change the point of entry. So Chilton will throw it in along that left baseline to Floyd now. So Floyd tries to pass it. It's taken away by the Tigers, looking for King. The layup by Bird is up, and it is no good. And they will get Hickman County on a foul there. And Cam, I guess I missed it. Who'd they get on the foul right there?
We'll look and see. Oh, they got Floyd on another one. That's number 3 for her, so she's going to be careful the rest of the night. We do only have a minute left in this quarter, but we need her to continue in this game.
Of course, that ball, not a shooting foul. And Chilton with a nice steal. And if you're Hickman County, you need to set up, but a nice pass to Gordon. Pulls up, little jumper not going to go. Looked like she rushed it just a little bit. And now the Tigers, Ridley taking it beyond midcourt as they look to set up and widen their lead beyond 5. It's 26-21 Dogs. And a steal by Gordon. No! A nice job by Thomason to keep it with him. And Ridley, the senior, with a big three-pointer, widens the lead 29-21. Less than 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Floyd kicks it out to Warren. Warren to Chilton. Chilton pump fakes, drives in. And they will get a foul called on Marshall County. Not a shooting foul, I don't think. Or maybe it is. Yes, Chilton will be going to the line. I was unsure if he was pointing at the line or the baseline. And these are 2 very big free throws here, Cam.
Absolutely. You want to see her come up, knock these down. Honestly, Josh, they're looking a little tired in the legs. But that means that each shot you take is so much more important. And here, if we can get this ball back, we need to stop. But if we can get this ball back and make sure we get a good last shot. Make sure it's the last shot of the quarter.
And Chilton drains both of her free throws. Hickman County now down by 6. Steely at the right wing, looking, hands it to Ridley. Ridley looking to drive in the paint, and it's knocked away. She kicks it back out. Steely to Ridley. Ridley from 3, no good. So the final shot of the third quarter does not find the net, and that's a big moral victory there for the Lady Dogs going into the fourth quarter without surrendering a big buzzer beater. As we know, those buzzer beaters at the end of quarters are great at not only extending leads, but at getting the crowd into it, at making this hostile environment even more hostile.
Absolutely, and the rotation there I was super impressed with is girls, when they notice another person get out of position to cover a girl, they went and took their spot right there. So you saw Chilton come up to above the free throw line there. Not typical for somebody playing down near the block in the zone, but she came up because nobody was there, and whoever was at the top came down to help her out, and that was beautiful, beautiful defense. If you see that the rest of the game, I think you could put a chokehold on that offense. And right now, Marshall County's just making shots. And there's not a lot you can do about that because I think the defensive rotation has been good. We just need to continue in that.
Well, and while we might still be trailing by 6 points, I think it's important to note that Hickman County, we outscored Marshall by a score of 14-11 that quarter.
Absolutely, and I think we see that continue here, Josh, to be honest with you, because they've made kind of wonky shots here and there. Our shots have been good quality shots, and if we continue in that and trust our ball movement, that is the big thing, continuing to move the ball.
And Ridley, pass to Steely, Steely to Bird. Bird to Ridley, Ridley trying to drive, leaves Steely wide open, right wing, and it is good. And you just can't leave her open, Cam. You can't leave her open.
Absolutely not. That's the tough thing again about zone. It leaves us liable on the perimeter, and we just can't have that. But that was good offense. You can't say much more about that. They moved the ball, they dribbled.
A nice steal there by Floyd. Pass to Gordon. Gordon needs to reset, and they do. Chilton driving in, puts up the layup, and it falls. Nice job by Chilton. And Cam, what I like there too, Gordon has had a habit of this game rushing herself a little bit on breakaways. She took her time, set up, and passed it back out and trusted her offense.
And oftentimes you see that if you're on a fast break but you don't have the odds, the best thing to do is make a quick pass. Pull it out, one dribble, make a quick pass.
And that Ridley from 3 is good. And Cam, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said this is a team that needs to see shots go in before they heat up, and that's certainly been the case with this senior Ridley of Marshall County, and they will get Floyd on a walk as Hickman County now trails by 10, 35-25, and they definitely need to have a sense of urgency here with only 6.5 minutes to go in the game.
Absolutely. Once they started falling for her, it was going in. You see her playing right now with the confidence. This last possession, she came in, or the possession before, she came in, she drove in, she made a couple moves. That's not the confidence we saw early in the game. And so seeing her be this confident does show, like, hey, and you see here they went to a man, and that was to stop her and 24 from getting open.
And Ridley tries to drive in there, no good, well covered there by the Dogs. Warren taking it right side of the court. She loses a handle on the ball, and it'll be taken the other way. And nice job there by the Bulldogs to knock it away. It looked like surefire points there for Thomason of the Tigers, but Hickman County hustles down and prevents the lead from growing any wider.
That was excellent transition defense. A lot of times you see people go for blocks or something like that. The best thing I always found when you're a smaller defender or they're quicker than you, if you can try to beat them to where they're going and swipe at them like was just done there, that makes a big difference in transition.
So a jump ball is called there on the inbound, and it will be Hickman County basketball. Bentley passes it in to Ava Floyd. Floyd now dribbling it to the right side of the court. King up now to set a screen on Ridley. Floyd looking, scanning, no one to pass it to, finally finds Warren. Warren takes it herself, drives it into the free throw stripe, and they will get Warren with the walk. So Marshall County will now take over. And Cam, these are the self-inflicted wounds that we saw Marshall County being guilty of early in this game, and now it's starting to come back and bite us a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, I think we're so stressed about looking for a bucket to keep this game close that we're not looking for the opportunities that present themselves. Having our head up is so important. Passing in these late situations when you're down is so important, and good passing at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see there Bird gets called for a push-off foul, and it will be Dog basketball again. So the Tigers still unable to get away from what's been biting them all game, and that has been the offensive foul. So Hickman County desperately needing to capitalize here with 5:05 to go, down 10. Pass to King. King back to Floyd. Left corner, no good, just short. And Warren, a great job rebounding and making sure she gets it off. And she calls the walk, and she draws the walk there. Once again, looked a little nitpicky, but I guess that's what happens when you find yourself scrapping on the floor. You're prone to those walk calls.
Yeah, that was a tough call. Great hustle there by Warren. You can't ask for much more from her getting on the floor.
And Steely passes it to Thomason. Up top, Thomason. Screen set by Bird. Mid-range, no good. Rebounded by Warren. Warren finds Chilton on the right wing. Chilton coast to coast to Floyd. Drives in on the baseline. Nice jumper. Little floater there from Ava Floyd.
Looked like Derrick Rose there, Josh. I was very impressed with that shot. I was about to say I want to see them drive the ball to try to get some easy baskets, even set up a post player to get some easy buckets here, because you want the easy ones to get you back close.
Well, it looked like Floyd had an open look for three, but she chooses the wise path, and that is driving and securing the 2 points.
And that showed a lot of maturity. She hasn't, the last couple of threes didn't go in. Having that maturity to say, I need to take the ball inside is big.
And a great piece of ball movement there by the Tigers to secure 2 points of their own. 37-27 your score. King, mid-range, no good, overshoots it. Tigers now, Ridley on the breakaway. But the Lady Dogs there to meet her. She tosses one up, no good, rebounded by Bentley.
That was a great job forcing her into a floater. That's exactly what you're looking for in these situations.
And Floyd with the ball driving into the paint, looking for a shot. It looked like a lot of contact was made there, but nothing called on Floyd, but it will stay with the Lady Dogs.
Josh, these moments right here, when you're down 10, 3.5 minutes left, you have to get the ball moving, because the best way to get open shots is for them to be scattered all over the place, and the only way that's going to happen is getting passing going.
So we're certainly looking forward to the Lady Dogs, of course, trying to fight back here, down 10, 3:24 to go, 37-27 your score. But of course, we saw how explosive this Lady Dog team was in the third quarter. We know, even trailing by 10, this game far from over. A lot of basketball to be played in these last 3.5 minutes.
Absolutely. There's no reason not to believe in him right here. This whole game has been a give and a take and a give and a take, and neither team has played super clean. But I do love that at no point, now that Marshall County has gotten a little bit more back up, that they have looked any less confident in themselves, and I think that's huge. Whatever the result of this game is, I think knowing that they can come back from a deficit against a tough team is going to do big in the long runs.
And as you said, this is where mettle is tested. Of course, against a good team in Marshall County, odds stacked against the Lady Dogs, but pressure is what makes diamonds. Chilton looking inbound it, well defended, but Bentley does a nice job of signaling to Chilton that she was open. Bentley now at the right wing, looking, tries to find King in the paint. A little bit of an errant pass there, and Bentley with a little bit of redemption, stealing it away and taking it back for the Dogs. Chilton looking, oh my goodness, a lot of contact there. Knocked out of bounds by the Tigers, and it will stay with Hickman County.
See, Josh, those passes right there, the long passes, are the dangerous ones to make. Not always bad, but they're the dangerous ones to make. And in this situation, a quick swing is huge.
So Bentley now with the ball at the left wing. Nice screen by King. Tries to pass it, tipped up in the air, and King secures it. Out to Bentley. Three from the top. It's good! Nola Kate Bentley! A critical shot in a big moment. The senior delivering when it matters most.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a huge shot to hit there, and she shot that with a ton of confidence. I think she can turn that into multiple as this game closes.
And sometimes, and this has been a theme of our game here today, all it takes is to see a few go in. And I want to see how Nola Bentley, as a senior, I want to see how she leads this team by her actions, by her willpower, by her willingness to not lay down and give up in these last 3 minutes.
These last few minutes here, Josh, I think it's super important that we take priority on the defensive end. The best way to come back is, yes, you have to make shots to score points, but we can't allow them to get up anymore. So I think full effort on defense, which will always translate to offense. Whether the ball's going in or not, it does translate.
So the referees sound their whistle. That will bring this timeout to an end. Hickman County looking to take back some momentum and close this 7-point deficit. 37-30 is your score. Tigers with the ball. And it looks like, Cam, the Dogs will be in a full court press.
And you just got to do that in this situation. Make them make plays, make them dribble. That's the one huge weakness I've seen, is their ability to dribble and take care of the ball when it's on the floor.
And some nice defense there in the paint by the Dogs to prevent the pass underneath. And Floyd a little too overzealous there. And they get King on the blocking foul. It looked like she lowered her shoulder just a little bit into King. But more often than not, Cam, they're going to get the defensive player on that call.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough situation to be in, but thankfully they called it on the floor.
So the pass is out. Ridley in the right corner looking for three. It's going to fall just short. Rebounded by Bird. To Thomason. Thomason to Ridley. Ridley from three. Again, King on the defense, and the shot will fall short. Warren on the rebound. 2 minutes left now in this game. Floyd pulls up from three. She got it! And that is huge. That is huge. And this lead of the Tigers now down to 4.
Josh, that could change the momentum of the whole game. We have to prioritize stopping Ridley, and that stops their offense. As long as we can force her to be uncomfortable, that is going to be a game changer.
So Ridley, top of the key. Coach Gordon signaling Warren to come up and play in her face. They can't let them come to a screen set by Bird. Tries to drive to the paint, floater, no good. And a foul is called on the floor.
Josh,
And
it's what we talked about.
I believe, with the foul.
It's what we talked about earlier. Rebounding, finding somebody to box out. That's what that came out to, is somebody not finding somebody to box out. And understandably, sometimes you get lost in the mix, but you have to prioritize that in these situations.
The Bulldogs, tight defense here. Ridley looking to drain some clock. Warren coming up now, pass to Bird at the free throw stripe. Thomas with the ball, Chilton guarding, mid-range shot, no good. Bentley with the rebound. They have to set up here, plenty of time. You don't have to rush. You're only down 4, over a minute to go. Chilton driving it down the left side of the court. Now at the top of the key.
I'd love to see him get the ball.
Bentley's going to pull up from deep. No good. And a nice rebound there by Ridley to put the Tigers back in possession.
You'd love to see him get the ball inside right there and get a good shot with the situation they're in, but they got to force somebody to either make a turnover or got to start fouling.
And of course, they have to foul there to stop the clock. And Cam, that right there is one of the key differences between the college level, NBA level, and high school, right? No shot clock. They could sit here for the rest of the 40 seconds if they wanted to. So here, inbounded to Ridley. Warren on defense.
The thing is here, Josh, the foul before that was on Floyd. Floyd now has 4. That's going to put us in a tough situation where we got to pull her in and out of the game, make sure she's in on offense, but on defense it's going to be tough to have her out there because of her foul trouble.
Warren on Ridley. We need a big takeaway here. And I believe they get Warren again with the foul.
Josh, I believe that should have been a 5-second call. Just personally, I counted 6, but that's it's one of those things that oftentimes coaches and fans are nitpicky of, and referees get lost in the game.
So Ridley to the free throw line, it drains the first one. Now a 5-point game, and with 30 seconds, Cam, these free throws by Ridley are huge because I think it forces us to rely on the 3-point shot.
Absolutely, and you want to get the easy buckets, but sometimes it just comes down to making shots and making them from deep.
Right there, no good, and Marshall County with 2 critical rebounds. Hickman County unable to come up big there, and they will send Ridley once again to the free throw line. And Cam, usually in those types of situations, we tend to see a lot of over-the-back calls, but none called there, and Marshall County has been exploiting us in the paint all night as far as rebounds go, and that's been really, I think, the difference in this entire game.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's come down to rebounding, and whether our girls, and this second half, I don't think it's an effort thing. I think it's just there's been some wonky rebounds.
The second free throw, no good. Keeps it a 2-score game. And another foul there by Chilton. And it just seems like the way the ball is bouncing off the rim, Cam, it seems everything seems to be going Marshall County's way tonight.
You saw there, Chilton had a box out to the inside. It shot the other way. It's just a tough rebound.
The first free throw, no good. And if the second one doesn't fall, Hickman County still just 2 3-pointers away from a tie ball game. Free throw number 2 is up, and it does fall, a 3-score game. Some urgency here from the Lady Dogs is what we need, and they need to start trying some 3-pointers. A lot of clock being drained here. Bentley gonna drive. Oh, and a lot of contact underneath. They will get a blocking call on Marshall County, and that will send Bentley to the line, and that does stop the clock in the process.
Josh, we gotta know, we are down by 7 with 20 seconds left. That means you were coming down the court and chucking up a shot. We let the ball sit still too long. It's gonna be tough to come back from that.
And Bentley, the first free throw, no good.
You know, any shot in the last 20 seconds when you're down 7, unless it's from half court, it's hard not to not to call it a good shot because you got to prioritize getting the ball in the basket.
And another foul there called on Marshall County. This time it will send Delaney King to the free throw line. And I'm surprised at the number of fouls we've seen here by Marshall County this late in the game. I mean, you'd think they'd play very conservative, back off. The score and the clock are both on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've honestly played pretty sloppy the whole game, especially on the offensive end. But it's us capitalizing on it that needed to happen a little more often.
And with 5 seconds left to go, King unfortunately misses 2 free throws, and that will bring our contest to an end. The Marshall County Lady Tigers will defeat your Hickman County Lady Dogs by a score of 40-33, and it was a hotly contested ball game. I think, Cam, of course, being really the Lady Dogs' first test on the year, I think they look pretty good, and if you're Coach Gordon, I think you see a lot of promise, a lot of potential into this team. You just have to encourage them and to tell them, hey, one loss will not be the end of us. Let's learn from it, move on, and let's win big come tournament time next week. Of course, we know they'll be going to Cornersville. Their next game will be Monday at 12 o'clock, high noon against Community, and that will be a great opportunity for them to learn from their mistakes and to apply what they've learned in the Thanksgiving tournament.
I absolutely agree. I saw a lot of promising things, especially in that second half. Very talented team, but I think with Marshall County you see a ton of seniors, and that I think the experience made the difference, to be honest with you. You could tell those girls had a sense about each other. They knew each other. They had played with each other, and I think that's part of what boiled down to the result is these girls being comfortable with each other, and our girls being young, and Ava Floyd being a transfer. This is their first, few games to get gelled together, and I saw a ton of promise out of these ladies' dogs tonight, and I'm excited to see what they can bring later when they're comfortable and when they're ready.
I couldn't agree more, Cam, and we see some tallies here from our final stat line. Of course, Ava Floyd, as she did on Tuesday night, led this team in scoring with 14 points. 3 of those came off the three-point shot. And I think if you were to ask Floyd, I think she would say that she did not play as well as she needed to tonight, but she still had a relatively stellar performance, I believe. And we look, Zoe Chilton as well. I know it's a little early to say this, but her season high in points with 10. I think Zoe looked really comfortable shooting the ball, had a three-pointer of her own, made a couple of free throws, and even looked very strong in the paint underneath, making some strong, tough shots. And I believe one of the big stories of the game as well was the senior Nola Benton. I think as a senior, there's a lot asked of you, right? You're expected to be a leader. You're supposed to lead by example. And I think not only in behavior and how you act, but also in how you play. And I think tonight we saw a lot of leadership shine through from Nola Bentley. And she made a couple of huge shots. Of course, that three-pointer late in the game that looked like it could have turned the momentum of this game around, that was critical, and a couple more buckets on the ledger for her as well. So really overall pleased with Nola. Some assists, some steals in the process. I think she's going to be one of the cornerstones of this team for this season. Of course, what I like as well, this whole team is talented top to bottom, and anybody can shine on any given night.
I think the biggest thing in the game tonight, that if I had to say one word, I would say maturity. As you see, Zoe Chilton in the first half, she either had 1 point or she didn't have a lot. She ended with 10. Nola Bentley, with the aggression that she played with, especially on the offensive end, when she knew it was time for somebody to step up and take charge, she did. And her name's slipping my mind. Haley Gordon. I apologize. Haley Gordon, at the end there, taking the ball, she put up a couple wonky shots. She said, okay, let me drive in. Okay, I see I don't have a great shot. Let me pull it out, pass it out. Got that ball to Zoe and got that layup about 4 minutes left in the fourth. I think the maturity, not only in this game, but as the season go on, is going to make a huge difference.
And I think you said it best, Cam. I think if all of these ladies are on their A game, I'm not sure if there's a team that can beat them. Of course, there was a lot of uncertainty coming into this game against Marshall County. Of course, has been a very stout opponent in the past, but I think we played them very well. And I'm excited to hear from Coach Gavin Gordon. He will be joining us at the half of the boys game. That won't be but just for a few more moments until tip-off. The boys game begins in about 11 minutes. We will take a brief intermission here. We will be back with about 5 minutes to go until tip-off for a little bit of a pregame show. Some things to expect, and Cam will offer us some keys to that game as well. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in here on WNKX, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook. Your viewership is so much appreciated. We will see you in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
It's game time. WNKX welcomes you to this live presentation of local high school sports, made possible by our community advertising partners.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the WNKX pregame show. WNKX, the home of Hickman County sports. And tonight, I'd like to give a very special thank you to our cameraman, Hickman County High School student Aiden Weber. And tonight, we are behind enemy lines about an hour down the road from Hickman County in Lewisburg, here at Marshall County High School, as the Hickman County Bulldogs take on the Marshall County Tigers. And the coach of Marshall County is Levon King. And of course, the head coach for your Hickman County Bulldogs is Coach Chris Dawson. And the Hickman County Bulldogs started off strong against Battle Creek. A big win. The final score was 73-26. So Hickman County certainly getting off on the right foot, but they have to turn around just 2 days later, and they are quickly faced with a big test. And that big test awaits them here against Marshall. And in our interview with Coach Dawson on Tuesday, during our post-game show, he made it clear that he was taking Marshall County very seriously. He made it known that last year Hickman County lost 2 times against Marshall. So I think the Hickman County Bulldogs here tonight are looking for some sort of revenge. They're looking for their get back against this tough Tiger team. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Josh Copley, joined by Cameron Peters, the color commentator for tonight. We're so very thankful that he could be here with us. And we are live here in Lewisburg. And I'd like to also issue a very special thank you to the head of operations, Mr. Will Nunley. None of this would be possible without him. We're very appreciative of his oversight and his willingness to make sure this broadcast runs smoothly. Now, it has been a windy and chilly day here in Middle Tennessee, and there is no better place to be than in a gymnasium watching these dogs play basketball. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Hickman County Bulldogs had a tremendous win against the Battle Creek Grizzlies, and there was a great performance that spearheaded that winning effort by none other than number 12, the senior, Elisha Puckett. He led the Dogs in scoring with 25 points and 7 3-pointers. We also saw a very balanced attack and a lot of ball movement, some great passing that Coach Dawson made a note of in his post-game interview. We also saw some suffocating and stifling defense by these Dogs. They did not give Battle Creek any room to breathe, so we're looking for more of the same here tonight. Well, we also saw the Bulldogs get into some foul trouble early on last week, earlier in the week, but they were able to clean that up in the second half, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they control the fouls here tonight. And this begins a brief road stint. We will be back home December 3rd, so a couple of weeks away. And the next time your Hickman County Bulldogs will be in action will be at Siegel. And they will face Siegel at 2 p.m. starting the Thanksgiving Classic. So we look forward to seeing you all then. But we cannot wait to get back home on December 3rd as we face off against Fairview. But of course, tonight we are on the road, and it's important to learn how to handle a tough road atmosphere. And of course, based on the girls' game, this crowd is rowdy, they are loud, they are supportive of their Tigers. But ladies and gentlemen, tip-off is in here just a few moments. But first, a brief word from our sponsors, and then we'll have a word from Cameron Peters for tonight's keys of the game.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists? That's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection.
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cut in the shareable squares.
That's delicious.
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago Tavern-style recipes for just $12 each.
Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Sorry, Chicago. No one out. Pizza's the Hut.
Apology accepted.
Smart appliances, heating and cooling, solar, electric vehicles, mobile apps. Energy impacts your life in many ways.
It's our job to power the technology that brings comfort and value to your busy life.
Your life,
your way.
So you're in the driver's seat.
Let us help. Contact the energy pros at Meriwether Lewis Electric.
And tip-off is about to be underway here, ladies and gentlemen. Looked like Dylan Qualls there. Wins the tip-off for the Dogs. Puckett with the ball. Swings it to Qualls. Qualls driving in. Looking for Puckett. Nothing happening, but finds him again in the paint. Puckett looking to drive out. Looking to get the ball out, unable to do so, and the ball is knocked out of bounds by the Marshall County Tigers. And Cam, a very eventful start here. What do you think are the Bulldogs' keys to victory here tonight?
On offense, I think it's getting the shooting going. I think we need to start inside out, prioritize either shooting the ball from deep or getting the ball inside, either one. But I think that's huge. But even more so, I would say on the defensive side, I'm interested to see what Coach Dawson's going to do. They came out in a 1-3-1 last time, and it looks like they're in it again. This is a dangerous defense. If they use that length right, I love the 1-3-1 defense. I think it's great, and especially with this length that we have. So the hustle and the rebounding is what it's coming down to, though.
And the Marshall County Tigers able to strike first. Howard drills a three from the left wing. Hickman County playing behind the 8 ball. Looking to answer back here. Quall swings it to McDonald, top of the key. McDonald looking for help, finds his point guard, Braden Brown, the sophomore. Brown finds McKinnon on the left wing. McKinnon dribbles back to the top, finds Puckett. Puckett from deep. No good, kicks off the back of the rim, but a nice rebound by McKinnon. Qualls up top, driving in, pulls up, and good. A beautiful shot by Dylan Qualls.
That was beautiful one-on-one basketball right there by Dylan, taking what the defender gave him. I think a good shot by Puckett. The biggest thing, right there, McKinnon had the ball. He either needs to shoot that or get the ball moving quickly. I think the biggest thing is we are bigger than them. We are significantly bigger than them, honestly. So prioritizing getting the ball inside, working inside out, I think it's going to be huge in this game.
So now Marshall County with the ball, swings it back. Harney with the ball, passed it. Number 12 from 3, no good. Kicks off, nice rebound by Will McDonald. McDonald swings it over to Brown. Brown throws it deep, finds Puckett. A nice snag there. Elisha had to get up for that ball. Throws to McKinnon. McKinnon tries to use his big body, but too many Tigers there to meet him.
That's exactly what needs to happen, though, is getting that ball inside. That's going to make the defense collapse in. Later in the game, we can get our shooters going.
So McDonald has already been an absolute problem on defense. He has been all over these Tigers. Goes coast to coast. Harney pulls up from 3. No good. Kicks off the back half of the rim. And Qualls there for the rebound.
That's the beauty of the 1-3-1, is getting those deep three-point shots as they feel like that's what they have to take, because that's what we're giving them. I think making them, forcing them to do that all night is going to be a huge deal for us.
And Qualls tries a little touch pass there to McKinnon in the paint. Knocked out of bounds by Marshall County, so it will stay right with Hickman County. Elisha Puckett there to pass it in at the baseline. Finds Qualls in the right corner. Back to Puckett underneath. Drives in. Elisha tries to spin, and he will be fouled. And the ball will stay on the floor. No 2-point shots for Puckett, but it will stay with the Bulldogs.
That's exactly what you do there. Elisha had a smaller defender on him and took advantage of that. That needs to happen all night, because you see who they're picking up right now, guarding him. He doesn't have the size. He has the quickness, but if we take advantage of the height, it'll be a huge deal.
By Marshall County, but there's some great defense of Hickman's own, and Qualls there to take it away. And I'm unsure who they got for the foul. It looks like it will be against Hickman County. It will be Marshall County ball. Passing in the paint, goes up, and McKinnon rejects it. A nice job by 25, using his big body, and Braden Brown taking it down the right side of the court, looking to set up shot. driving into the paint, kicks it out. McDonald, right corner. No good off the rim. McKinnon, another rebound, puts it up, and it's good. And Cameron, that is what we were wanting to see from Tyler McKinnon tonight. He looked a little timid in the opening contest on Tuesday, but he is playing aggressive ball so far tonight.
That right there is going to win us the ball game. We recognize that we are bigger. Take advantage of that height. Take advantage of the size. Absolutely bully these kids around. If you want, we need to dictate the pace and make sure our size is felt.
Harney swings it out to Allen. Allen finds Mosley. Mosley kicks it back out. Howard driving in. A nice job by Qualls to be disruptive. It does stay with Marshall County, but a nice effort there by number 14. Qualls again trying to get his arm involved, and two men overcommit. And McKinnon came barreling in like a freight train there, Cameron. They will get him on the foul. That will send number 14, Howard, the senior, to the line for Marshall County.
No easy buckets, Josh. No easy buckets.
And my word, Cam, can you imagine a guy like Tyler McKinnon, 6'6", big body, barreling at you? Oh my goodness, it makes me glad I'm up here. The first free throw by Howard is good. Marshall County ties it up at 4. And McKinnon subbing out. And coming in now, number 3, younger brother of Elisha, Timothy Puckett, the junior. And the second free throw up and good. 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Marshall now leads 5-4. Puckett guarded tightly by Harney. Elisha pulls up. He got it. And there is a vintage Elisha Puckett three-pointer. And I'm surprised it took us this long to see the first one. And Elisha had all the time in the world to make that shot. A nice pull up there by number 12.
These fans did not like that. They wanted to push off. The thing is, when you have a guy that is up on you like Elisha had right there, that's how you play. You have to get that distance. He never extended the arm. That's perfectly fine.
And Allen there with the three-pointer. Or no, I think they'll only give him 2 there, Cam. They said his foot was on the line, I believe, so it will be tied up at 7. Puckett driving in the paint. Nice spin move. Tries to put it up. A lot of contact. No foul call, and it will be Marshall County ball. They start to drive. And that was honestly, Cam, some nice defense in the paint, but just a great shot.
Tough bucket, tough bucket.
And they will get Braden Brown with a quick walk after inbounding. And it will go right back to the Tigers. 9-7 your score. Just under 3 minutes to go in our first quarter of play, and the whistle blows. Waiting to see the verdict here by the officials. The official discussing something at the scorer's table. So whatever it was, it really changed the course of the game. Is now Allen driving in a tough, that's Harney that was driving in a tough bucket there. They widen their lead to 5. Puckett, right wing with the basketball. Swings it to Brown to the left wing. Now back to Qualls, top of the key. Qualls tries to drive in. Loses a little bit of control. Nice job of regaining it. Little jumper there, no good. Just kicks off the rim and flies over the other side.
Josh, if they're going to keep us in transition on defense, we have to prioritize stopping the ball. Right there, you see McDonald not pick him up until a little late, and that caused the foul. On defense right now, we need to see this team is good at driving. You see, that's what they want to do. We want to get up in them and make them uncomfortable to dribble.
Past the paint. Tim Puckett looked to be well guarding, but it goes up and in. 14-7 now your score. So Elisha hands off to Brown. Coach Dawson calling the play, looking to get this team set up to try to get some more points on the board. Brown directing traffic. Some tight D here by the Tigers. Swings it over to Tim. Tim to Qualls. Qualls looking for Elisha. Elisha spin move. Kicks out to Tim. Open look for Puckett. No good off the rim. And rebounded by Marshall County. And Elisha there playing tight defense. And they will get number 12 on the foul.
Josh, our offense is looking good. I love the ball movement. Right there, what I would love to see is Qualls take advantage of the height that he had over that kid. Recognize that. Don't be afraid to go one-on-one. I know it's early in the game. You need to get the ball moving. But if you can find a way to get rid of it and get the ball back with the kid posted up, I would love to see that.
And they will get Marshall County on a charge. Hickman will take over with a chance to close the gap with 1:31 to go in the first. It looks like Blystad and Worley will be checking into the game. Brown will be sent to the bench, and I believe they will also be I'm not sure who else they got to sub out. I believe it was Brown and McDonald. Now Puckett looking, nothing going. Qualls, open look from three. He got it! A great shot by Dylan Qualls. And we know Qualls is so dangerous in the paint. Of course, with his vertical ability to throw the ball down, but he can also be dangerous beyond the perimeter as well.
And I think that's what you see with, especially this modern era of basketball, is having the ability to go in, be a big man, have that vertical ability, but also having that ability to stretch the floor. And if Hickman County can take advantage of that, because every single guy we have can stretch the floor and can make a difference inside. So I want to see that tonight.
See him down here following the Worley foul. 3-point here from the right corner, and it falls. And Allen gets the three-pointer to fall. They widen their lead 17-10. Blast out the ball, quick pass to Puckett, and a floater does not fall. And these rims here at Marshall County just do not like us, Cam. And some nice defense by Blystad, forcing him to the baseline, and they're going to get him on a foul. I thought that was a great job by Charlie there.
It's the same thing we saw earlier. If you're going to have that contact, you got to have your hands up. They're going to call it when your hands are down.
So going to the line, number 5, Mosley. First free throw rattles around, no good. And it looks like number 1, Taylor Hutchison, about to sub in for the Dogs. Look at Qualls using his body to box out there, and that was a nice job by Dylan. And it will be knocked out, and they say it goes off Elisha, so it will stay with the Tigers. Under 30 seconds in the first. A pass in the paint, guarded by Tim. They'll kick it back out beyond the perimeter, and they'll reset. Worley on the ball handler up top. Qualls now guarding Howard. Howard now with the ball at the left wing. Driving into the paint. And nice defense, but it's offensively rebounded. And Tim with the ball finds Worley. Worley needs to set back up, and they don't get a shot off. And Charlie throws up a three-pointer, but well late. And at the end of the first quarter, Marshall County leads your Hickman County Bulldogs by a score of 17-10. But Cam, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. What are some things that you notice that we're doing that we need to go about fixing here if we want a chance to win this game?
I think that it is a story of two different kinds of basketball. Marshall County is seeing the opportunity for a shot and taking it. Hickman County is running an offense, running a set to get a particular shot and trying to look for that. You can definitely tell Marshall is playing with a little more freedom in their offense, and I think that has gotten them where they're taking more shots than we are. I'm a big believer in Mike D'Antoni and his brand of basketball, where you want to get shots up. I would like to see just more shot volume from the Bulldogs this coming quarter.
So now both teams, assuming their positions back on the court, we see for the Dogs, Qualls, Blystad, Tim Puckett, Hutchison, and Worley, the 5 in for Hickman County. Worley, of course, known for his fiery defense and his fearlessness. And they will get an offensive foul called on the Tigers, and Hickman County needs to take advantage. And that is something that we saw in the girls' game. Hickman County, the Lady Dogs, couldn't quite take advantage as much of the offensive fouls that Marshall County was committing in abundance. So let's see if Hickman County changes that pace just a little bit here in this game.
Josh, Marshall County switched to what looks like a 2-3 zone.
And it's knocked away from Qualls, and the layup is good. So 19-10 Tigers. And Hickman County, of course, ball security is pivotal now. Blysted looking, the right wing, top of your screen, looking for Worley, but finds Tim Puckett instead. And the whistle blows, and Coach Dawson will take a timeout. And Cam, it looks like the Bulldogs are playing very uncertain. They look the confidence is just not there, and I'm waiting for them to find it because I know it's in there within them.
Part of that right there was Marshall County just switched to a 2-3 zone, and it was quite extended. And I think that made the play that Coach Dawson called and drew up for the Bulldogs, I think that made Dylan come down and be like, oh, hey, this is a zone, and try to keep going with it. Oftentimes, when you're in that mindset of like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, this is the defense they're playing, and then they switch up, that throws you off. And Coach Dawson, excellent coaching move, very experienced coach. He recognized that he was taken back by that and said, hey, we need to reset the offense. They're in a zone now. Let's make an adjustment, just as a good coach should.
Now we notice number 25, Tyler McKinnon, back into the game. And his size has definitely been something Hickman County has been missing these last few minutes. So Puckett now, Elisha with the ball, top of the key. Passes, Tim, right wing, it's good! And I have been waiting for a vintage Tim Puckett 3. It's like threes run in the Puckett family.
Absolutely. Generations on generations, one may say.
And Marshall County with the ball. Right wing swings it across the left wing, a very long distance pass. Worley trying to be a mediator between both wings, swings it back on the left wing. They're going to drive to the basket. There's that big body McKinnon forcing to go around. Elisha tips it. And they will get Elisha for his second foul of the game. It looks like Cam, definitely not intentional. It looks like Elisha just got tangled up a little bit there.
Absolutely. The thing that I'm noticing is this 1-3-1 that we keep running, I think we got to stick with it no matter who's in. It's making them make plays, and if they make plays, then we're doing our job. When they're just getting open shots, that's tough, you know. But this zone has been so tough for this Marshall County team to figure out, and I think sticking with that is very much needed.
They are able to find Xavier Mosley underneath in the paint, and Cam, it looked like they overcommitted a little bit there, left Mosley wide open behind them. But of course, that's going to happen. I think you have to overcommit sometimes. You can't leave these good shooters open. You can't allow them to have any type of leverage on you. Now, Elisha looks for a shot there, pulls it down, finds Tim on the right wing. Tim back to his brother Elisha. Elisha motioning Worley back to the logo. Worley now looking, finds Blysted on the left wing. Finds McKinnon at the free throw stripe, swings it over to Tim quickly. Fires coast to coast, no good. And stolen away, but Blysted there, they will get him for the foul. And it will be Tiger ball. And Cam, that's the risk you run whenever you try these coast-to-coast, long-distance type passes.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in the girls' game, is making a simple pass. The best way to beat a zone is quick passing, not necessarily just passing and getting the ball to the opposite side. With a zone that's very extended, like Marshall County's playing, you want to be able to get that zone shifted to one side and get it back quickly. I think simple passes are going to be the best right now.
And it's stripped away. Nice defense there by Worley. Elisha on a breakaway. Passing, looking for Tim. Nothing going there. And now they're going to try their own coast-to-coast. Marshall unable to handle it. And they will call Harney out of bounds. And it will be Hickman County basketball. And that was quite the sequence of events there. 5:09 in the half. 21-13 your score. Marshall County leads. Now Elisha dribbling the ball up the left side of the court. Dawson calling plays from the sideline. Elisha finds McKinnon. Tim pulling up from three, no good. And Blysted tries to play physical, but the rebound unable to happen. Rebound. And the passing game, the quick striking ability of Marshall County has been absolutely killing us tonight, Cam.
I think they're killing us in transition, Josh.
And a nice job there by Elisha to hustle down to prevent the breakaway. But Marshall County does secure the offensive rebound. Three-pointer here from Marshall, no good. Rebounded by Tim Puckett. So Hickman County back in possession here. Tim taking across the midcourt stripe, finding McKinnon at the free throw line. McKinnon looking for help, finds Elisha left wing. Blysted, quick swing to Puckett. Pump fake, pulls it down, back to Blysted. To McKinnon, to Worley. Worley pulls it down, drives across the baseline, tries to slip it to McKinnon, mishandled. Another breakaway from Marshall County. Tim Puckett all over him there, and they will get him for a foul. And of course, Tim wasn't able to get his hands up in the air, and as you've said several times throughout the broadcast, Cam, they'll get the defender for that every single time, and that will send Marshall to the line.
Yeah, the thing that I want to see from us is, like I just said earlier, shot volume. A bad shot is always going to be better than a turnover in my book, and we've seen a couple decent looks. At this point, I would rather us take that shot than continue trying to play around. I want shots to go up right now, because this game, you see Marshall County, they're getting rewarded for getting that shot up instead of trying to look for the best one or the perfect shot. We just got to get shots up.
And Harney there from the line makes one of two, extends the lead to 11, 24-13, under 4 minutes now in the game. Puckett with the ball, swings it to Worley. Worley now top of the key. McDonald and Qualls looking to sub back in next to Puckett.
This ball needs to move fast, quick, and early. The best thing to do is, as soon as you come down that court, get rid of that ball. Make it move. Right now, we see a lot of stagnant, either dribbling or players on the weak side. If you're not moving, if somebody's dribbling, you need to be moving off the ball. If somebody's passing, you need to be moving to get open. And that's what I'm not seeing a lot of, is moving. Offense is about moving.
And I believe they did call Hickman County for the offensive foul, and it will be Marshall ball yet again. McDonald now, of course, plays a similar game to Brody Worley, both aggressive defenders. Driving in, mid-range floater, no good. Rebounded by Elisha. Nice job by the young man to go up top. He is able to secure the ball, take control, and now crosses the midpoint line. Now to Tim. Tim pulls up for three. No good. And look at Elisha taking initiative, securing the rebound. He will draw the foul. And they'll get number 32, Henry, the freshman, on Marshall County.
Josh, I want to see us get this ball inside. We are bigger than they are. I know we don't even have our biggest lineup in here, but we need to get this ball inside to get some good looks. Right now, we're kind of trying to find our footing on offense. The best place to find it is easy shots. If you see a couple go in, just like in the girls' game, you see a couple go in, there's a difference that's made.
A Puckett, corner three from the left side. No good, rattles around, and Brown goes up and knocks it away. Brown looking for three, doesn't take it. McDonald now pump fakes of his own, swings it to Qualls. Qualls trying to drive into traffic, and they will get him on a walk. Two and a half now in the half.
Josh, I got to be honest, that call, I feel like it either needs to be a foul on the defense or clean. I didn't see anything wrong there with that move. I thought it was aggressive by Qualls. I like it.
Sounds like Qualls definitely would agree with you. And that ball flies out of bounds at Mach 10, and it will be Hickman County ball. And that's what Marshall's been trying to do all game, Cam, these quick passes, trying to find guys in the paint. And Marshall's a great passing team. Their passes have such velocity on them, and it's hard to defend sometimes. But, of course, right there, if you play good defense, you force the ball to go out of bounds and take possession back for yourself, good things will happen. And now Brown taking it up the court, just now crossing the logo. Finding Qualls on the right wing, Puckett back to Qualls. Qualls to Brown up top, back to Qualls.
Josh, you see that?
The ball out of bounds. They're not really sure. Did you see something there that happened that may have forced that pass?
Yeah, he was trying to get the ball into Elisha on the baseline. They're seeing what I was talking about. They want to get the ball inside. They were trying to do it with action on the baseline, but Qualls has got to realize, I need to get a good angle on this pass. That pass either needs to be made, I need to swing it one more time and the guy closer gets it in, or I need a fake and I'm firing it in there. That turnover you saw earlier by Marshall where he slung it in there, that is exactly, he did a good job there. And that it either needs to be velocity or another pass there. But completely, he's trying to make the right play, so you can't get on him for it.
Well, of course, we know Qualls, a very smart player, a very physical player, a player that has all the tools, and of course, he always is looking for the best opportunity to make plays. Right there, ball just sails on him a little bit, and I'm sure he'll bounce back. He'll learn from that right there. And you gave some great points there about making sure we put some more velocity on these passes, give them less time to react to it. But now Marshall County, following this timeout, under 2 minutes, will inbound the ball. And they'll take their time going up the court along the left side. Qualls will meet the ball carrier. Oh, and a nice job. I believe that was Elisha Puckett that knocked it away, tried to dive onto the floor, putting life and limb on the line there to try to get the ball, and unfortunately rolls out. It will stay with Marshall County, but that's the hustle, the initiative that we love to see from this Bulldog defense. And Marshall now inbounding it yet again. Qualls once again on 14 Howard. Now changes, and it's hipped away, and there's the height of Dylan Qualls on display. Will McDonald on the breakaway layup and in, and the Bulldogs tack on a couple of more.
Josh, what you're going to see and what Marshall County has tried to do a couple of times in this game. Great defense there by Qualls.
And Qualls again using that wingspan, those long arms. And he tries it again, and they're going to have to throw it close to the ceiling if they want to get it over number 14's arms. And they will get Elisha on the foul.
That should be 3 on Puckett, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That puts us in a dangerous position. He's been our initiator on offense as he was the other night. But that means that it's time for somebody else to step up right here and make a difference. So what I was saying earlier, Josh, is I believe that they may have gotten Puckett with a technical foul there, if I'm not mistaken. They just put a 4th on him. And this is, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it looks like. That's what it seems to be, and that's really dangerous.
Well, and we're not privy to everything that happens on that court. Of course, words are being exchanged all the time. Perhaps an official maybe took some exception to something that Puckett maybe had to say. But we know Elisha's a great kid. He never starts problems. But, of course, frustration can build on the court, the same as any other sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Continue what I was going to say earlier. So, with the defense that we're running, the 1-3-1, and to explain that baseball pass from earlier, Marshall County, the last few possessions, has done a good job trying to get us to flatten the zone. So the turnovers that a 1-3-1 creates are all towards the top of the key. What Marshall County is trying to do with 2 guys running baseline is they're trying to flatten this defense, and that is what gets their shooters around the top of the arch open or even around the bottom.
And that was number 30 right there. Got in the face of the shooter, and that's Kylan Steele. He is such a great defender, so aggressive. And Qualls now, left wing, swings it back to McDonald. Pump fakes back to Qualls. Qualls trying to drive, use that aggressive frame, a nice layup, no good. They will blow the whistle, and a foul is called on Marshall County.
I love the aggressiveness there by Qualls. It was, as I was saying earlier, you know, there might be a guy that could be more open later in the possession, but get those shots up.
And McDonald, wide open look, not able to go, and Seal goes up trying to put it back. It won't go, but there will be a foul, and that will send number 30, Kylan Seal, to the line.
Watching the game the other night, watching this game, the Seal is super, super energetic, and I love that about him. I know he's a young player, but when you play with that much energy, it makes a huge difference, and I'm excited to see what he can do the rest of the season and how much he can mature and grow as a basketball player.
Well, I love seeing Coach Dawson getting the younger guys involved. For example, we've seen a sophomore Hutchison, we've seen sophomore Seal, we've seen sophomore Braden Brown get plenty of minutes. Then the free throw, no good, but put back by Will McDonald. A great job right there by number 4 to secure a 3-point play for the Bulldogs. And they will get Marshall County with a walk. And Cam, you can start to see the momentum maybe change just a little bit.
And again, you see that when we get in that 1-3-1 and are able to set it up in the half court, we are dangerous, Josh. I think we have to prioritize getting back, getting set up, because we can't be stopped on defense. Like, we are suffocating whatever guard is trying to defend us.
And McDonald from 3, no good, and that'll go out of bounds on Marshall County with 1.6 seconds to go in the half. Hickman needs a quick pass, catch and shoot. You have no time for any extracurriculars of any kind. Worley to throw it in. Finds McDonald, and it's knocked away by Marshall County, and it goes out of bounds. And I think the clock will strike 0. I thought they might have had maybe 0.5 seconds left on the clock, but they'll let the clock expire. But now Cam, Hickman County made a very solid run there towards the end of this half. The score now 26-18, only an 8-point game. Definitely not an insurmountable deficit, a hole we can definitely see this team climb out of. But I'm interested to see how Coach Dawson, how Coach Stacks, how Coach Butchery will hype up this team, how they will encourage them, how they will make some changes going into the second half. We saw Coach Gordon. He made some phenomenal changes to his team in the first half of the Lady Dogs game between that and the second. So ladies and gentlemen, here in just a few moments, we will have Coach Gordon on with us. We'll ask him a few questions, his post-game thoughts, and then we'll have a brief intermission as we await second half basketball here in Lewisburg.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
First half didn't really go our way. Of course, while the game did not end in a W, I think they should be proud at the adjustments that were made in the second half. Talk us through what the halftime meeting looked like during that game.
It was a little bit of fire in the locker room. I think we played nervous the first half. We had a really bad first quarter. Second quarter was all right. But we just had a conversation as a team. I told them, we've worked all summer for this. You shouldn't be scared of anybody. We're prepared. We're seasoned. I got everybody back from last year. We should be ready for this. I was very proud of my girls because after my speech, they went into the hallway and had their own speech as a team, which is what I'm preaching, with accountability with them. And they came out ready to go in that second half. Nola Bentley came out as a spark in the third quarter. So did Zoe Chilton. The halftime speech, I think, it might not have been mine. It might have been theirs. They got them fired up, ready to go.
Yeah. Coach, the thing that I noticed, the one word that I would summarize that game with was maturity. I think that the girls in the second half showed a great deal of maturity, especially from Chilton and Nola. I was very impressed. They came out in the second half. They took charge And especially Nola being the senior, she said, I'm going to go in on offense. I'm going to take charge. That's what it looked like to me. And especially in those last few seconds, she wanted those shots. And so what do you say about the maturity that you saw and the maturity that you're excited to see the rest of the season?
Look, I can't talk highly enough about Nola Bentley tonight, okay? She's a senior. She hasn't started the last 2 games. It's just a decision we made as a staff. And, we pretty much talked with her. It can go one of 2 ways, right? You can either be upset and sulk and pout, or you can show the maturity that you are a leader on this team. And I think she did that tonight. She came out, and I just seen growth in her tonight. The way she was carrying herself, that hasn't happened with her before. I think this was her coming out party. I think as a team we matured in that second half, and we came back and we battled back, took the lead. Just too many mistakes down the stretch, not boxing out when we need to box out, giving them second chance opportunities, and that's kind of how the game went. I'm really proud of tonight after that, and that's what I was telling them in the locker room. When we do the right thing, when we do the little things, they add in the big things, and that's one of the better teams on our schedule, so I'm excited for the year.
Now, Coach, we know that this week it's been a short week, right? You had to prepare for Battle Creek, then a couple days later, you're on the road down here to Lewisburg, but now we know that next week we have a 3-day Thanksgiving tournament in Cornersville. How do you get your girls in the right mindset to prepare for a tournament such as that?
Really and truly take what we learned from tonight. I'm not going to lie, we're going to watch film tomorrow. We're going to ice, get ready, come back in, practice on Sunday. But we're used to it. We played 26 games this summer, and most of the time there were 3 varsity games a day, 2 JV games. So we're seasoned to this, and that's what I told them. We're going to go in and start the tournament off with community on Monday, and then we're going to prepare and we're going to scout. I got film on everybody. We've been watching it. My girls are watching it. And we're just going to show up and show who we are. I think the ending half of this is going to carry over into the next game. And I just think it was a little bit of a disappointment tonight, but I hope they're walking out here more confident than they were walking in.
Coach, we really appreciate you joining us on this halftime show. We appreciate your insight, and we wish you guys the very best going into Cornersville next week. We know there's no rest for the weary, not a lot of time to prepare. As a tournament, you can face anyone at any given time, so we're going to be wishing you all the very best. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been all for your halftime presentation. Once again, a special thank you to Coach Gordon for joining us. I'm Josh Copley alongside Cameron Peters. We'll take a short intermission, and we will be back with second half basketball here on WNKX. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, following our brief break. Once again, a special thank you to Coach Gavin Gordon for joining us, sharing his thoughts on the tough loss from the Lady Dogs here tonight. But we're excited to see how they grow and how they adapt and what adjustments they make going into tournament time. Next week, of course, the Thanksgiving Classic is in Cornersville. First game is Monday at high noon against Community, so if you can make it, we encourage you to, but if not, we will try to provide updates as they come along. And following this game, we will have a word from Coach Dawson. And in the event of a Hickman County win, we will also hear from Hickman County's player of the game. So here we go. Ball is thrown in by Braden Brown to Dylan Qualls. And let's see what adjustments were made. Qualls driving in to the paint. Left-handed layup, no good. But they will get a foul, and Qualls will go to the line.
I think the glaring thing I noticed right out of the start of the half, no puck it in. I know that I believe he has 4. I'm still not sure on that technical thing, but I believe he has 4. So this team's going to be without him for a long stretch, and I want to see how they adjust to that and who will be the enforcer. Right there, Qualls really drove in and made that happen, so maybe he'll show up and he'll be the enforcer.
Qualls' second free throw up, and it rattles out, no good. Tigers now pushing it down the court. Finding a man, right corner. Folks and McDonald there to greet him. Ball at the right wing, tipped, I thought, by Qualls, but still taken in by the Tigers. Hickman County swarming the ball carrier here. And Folks going in, knocking it out of bounds. A great play by number 10. And we know this young man's an athlete. We've seen him play on the football field, and this athleticism translates right over to the court. And a great defensive play there by the homecoming king, number 10, Braden Folks. Ball's trying to drive in, has a man open, left corner. No good, off the rim. And the ball hit the baseline, but no call.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Josh. But Marshall County has done a good job of flattening our zone out. They good rebound by McKinnon there.
And McKinnon goes up using that big body.
But like I was saying, they did a good job right there flattening our zone out. But I want to see us get to the guy dribbling early.
And nice defense there by the Dogs. And a foul is called.
Was it a foul? Probably. Was it real late and probably should have been let go because of how late it was? Also, yes. I don't love that call, but sometimes you just make a late one.
And if you see loud contact like that, you're not going to get away with it many times, but the Tigers now inbound it. Passing in the paint. Folks there on the defense, but he still goes up and over.
That right there is the tough thing about a 1-3-1 is once they kind of break down the zone where everybody's a little scrambled, it's hard to recover, but the guy running the baseline is the biggest part of that.
Qualls tried for a mid-range jumper there, no good. McDonald a little bit early on the jump for the putback. McKinnon on defense, no good. And Cam, this is what's got to be frustrating, Coach Dawson. 3 Dogs underneath, none of them able to come up with the rebound there. And then on top of that, a foul sending Marshall to the line with a chance at some free points here.
I think that attributes to one thing. There's a difference between trying to block and a good contest. Sometimes trying to block the shot is not the best contest available. So right there, that guy's driving in. If McKinnon just kind of stays tall, he's there and on the floor still to get that rebound and to make room. I want to see us stay on our feet more. We need to be a little more disciplined on that.
The first free throw for Marshall was good. Second one on the way. It is up, and it is good. 30-18, your score now. Bulldogs trail with 6:10 to go in the third. Qualls taking across the midcourt line. Finds Brown. Brown back to Qualls. Qualls, nice pass to Worley. Worley to McDonald. Back to Worley in the paint, driving. Finds McDonald in the corner. Well guarded, though, by the Tigers. Finds Worley again. Worley, nice spin move. Puts it up. No good. And rebounded by the Tigers. They're trying to push it. Brown, nice job by knocking the ball loose by Braden Brown. Great hustle by the young point guard.
Right there, Worley needs to turn and look at the basket. He had He had somebody open on the baseline. We got to recognize those opportunities.
A nice rebound there by McDonald, up in the face, and that's just great defense. McDonald looking to set up here to Qualls. Qualls going to drive it. Nice pass underneath to Worley. Worley going to take out to Folks in the left corner. Folks gathers, finds McDonald.
We got to minimalize the dribbling and maximize the passing. If you get the ball from one side, look opposite. This Marshall County zone keeps going deeper and deeper into themselves because we keep driving. This is exactly how you play a zone, but we have to make that adjustment. We got to get that ball and look across because twice now we've had open shooters on the opposite side.
Okay, and a timeout is called here, and that ball there, it looked like it could have gone either way. It looked like to me that it was tipped out by Marshall County, but I guess they say that he got his hand away in time. The ball path didn't look redirected in any way, so I think that was the correct call.
Yeah, I don't think it was the right call either, but as many times in basketball, the fans are always right.
So a 12-point deficit here for the Dogs, still early in the third quarter. And what I've noticed, what's most glaring on this stat sheet, is the points that Elisha Puckett has not been getting. Right, and of course you never want to lean on one specific player because it is a team game, but when you're so accustomed to Elisha putting up 20-plus points a game, the game can start to feel barren when he's not making his impact, and I think the few fouls that he's had early on might have had some impact on that, maybe so far. But of course the game far from over, and I know Elisha, competitor through and through, he'll play from the beginning of the first to the end of the fourth, so I'm expecting to see him get a few more crucial buckets going forward.
Yeah, the thing that you need to see here is not necessarily somebody take charge, but like just scoring-wise, but there needs to be an enforcer, somebody who gets the ball moving, an initiator and an enforcer to get the ball going. Great job.
Get Marshall County with the charge. Brody Worley hit the ground hard, but it was all worth it as Hickman County will now take control of the ball.
As I say, Josh, the fans are always right, and Marshall County fans feel as if they are right.
So we here at Hickman County will take what we can get. Now under 5 minutes to go. Hickman does need to capitalize. Too many opportunities left on the floor here tonight so far by both guys and girls. McDonald, left corner. He got it. A great shot by Will McDonald.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Maybe not the best shot, but it's a shot that got up and it went in. Shot volume, like I said, needs to increase. Immediately noticed, we need to box out right there. We had an opportunity to get down in there, box out. It ended in a foul, but if we box out early and get in position early, we don't do that. We don't foul.
And Marshall inbounding it to the left corner, now to the left wing. Qualls on the ball handler, now to the corner. McDonald all over him. And Qualls, nice steal. And he's looking for someone to find, finds Worley. Worley dribbles hard, driving to the basket, tries a layup, no good. Maybe looking for a foul there. Nothing going, and the Bulldogs might have thought that Marshall was the last to touch it because there wasn't much urgency in going for that rebound. Very strange, very awkward play overall there from the Dogs.
Yeah, I would second that, Josh. It looked like kind of decisionless basketball being played. It's important that every possession you make a definitive decision, whether to just go make a play yourself or to go back and set up the offense.
Drives in. This team is just so athletic. And they'll pass it in now. Brown taking it across the midcourt logo. 32-21 your score. And a great pass there by Qualls, coast to coast. Qualls looking to drive. Powers his way in, and it's good. Dylan Qualls' aggression is his best utility. And now Marshall County with possession. The Bulldogs need a big defensive stand here. Keep adding on the momentum, driving to the basket. McDonald on defense. And I believe they'll get Worley for the foul. Yes, they will. And we know Brody, Cam, he plays fearless. He's not afraid of physicality. but sometimes it can cost you, as we saw right there.
Yeah, that started with McDonald. He allowed him to get by him. Worley had to step up. The guy made the right decision to drop it off to his teammate, and now you see the result is either an easy basket or a foul.
And the end one good by Marshall County. The deficit now to 12. Elisha now back into the game, as is Tim and Blystad. And Qualls loses handle of the ball. And Coach Dawson, I mean, a truly great coach, able to recognize when his guys are in trouble, takes a great high IQ timeout, lets his guys gather themselves, gather their thoughts, and get something in motion here to get some points on the board, as that could have been a disaster. We saw Qualls, lucky there wasn't a walk called there, as a little bit of motion there on the floor, and that's what you run the risk of when you put your body on the floor. But Coach Dawson was ready, he was prepared, and he called a great timeout.
Yeah, great coaching job there by Coach Dawson. Whether or not that was a foul before when Dylan fell, I don't know. I would have called it personally. There was a swipe, but either way, we did avoid tragedy. Great job by Coach Dawson.
And Cam, they definitely have a sound system here at Marshall County.
The lights, all of the lights were on, Josh. All the lights and sound, some may argue.
So the Bulldogs inbounding here. And there's Elisha driving on the baseline, kicks it back out to Qualls.
See, Josh, right there is where we need to get that ball movement, okay?
Qualls nowhere to go with it. Tries to drive between two Tiger defenders. They will get Qualls on the walk. And Cam, these Tigers have been just playing a great job on the defensive side.
And we saw earlier in the game, every time the ball moved and moved quickly, open shot happened. Right now, we're kind of searching for our own shot. We need to go back. Marshall County switched to man-to-man, and I think that's a part of what's going on is the switch.
And that was just a phenomenal pass by the Tigers, going coast to coast, corner to corner, and a big three there from the Tigers. Hickman County now looking to answer back. Puckett with the ball, top of the key, being swarmed by a couple of Tigers, nowhere to go with it, finds Qualls at the free throw stripe, driving in, using his body, puts it up and good. Qualls has been doing such a masterful job of that so far tonight. And Marshall, wasting no time, driving it in, no good. Blystad, nice job walking the tightrope, gets the rebound. Tim Puckett gathers, gets it back to Blystad. Blystad to Elisha. Now Hickman County able.
I love the patience that Qualls showed right there. He made up for that last possession. He took his time, he found the best shot, and that's all you can ask.
And McDonald, deep three, well short. Blystad, nice rebound. No, can't put it up. And Puckett gets fouled on the putback. And Elisha, that was a great job. Hickman County had the underneath well in control there. There was not a chance that Marshall County was going to get a rebound there, and we knew eventually they would draw a foul with all the putbacks they had. And Elisha, of course, the man you want at the free throw line.
We just need that to translate to the defensive end. Oftentimes, right there, you saw Elisha. He got the inside position. I want to see that on the defensive side. Sometimes I see us get lazy, watch the shot. I need us to find a body, box it out.
And Elisha buries both of his free throws there. Of course, he has an unorthodox sequence there leading up to his free throw with the feint free throw, which has drawn off many violations in his time at Hickman County. Of course, so consistent. Deep three, no good, short. Hickman County unable to rebound. Marshall County regains control. And Puckett has to be careful underneath. Another foul called on number 12. And it looked like his hands were up, but when you go up for the basket, of course, a lot of contact will be made. That's just the nature of what can happen.
Yeah, Josh. Elisha just fouled out. That's his fifth foul. It's tough to see. You hate that. He's such an aggressive player. Fouls are going to happen. But let's see if this Hickman County team is disciplined enough to play without Puckett and see if we can get something going.
And the first free throw will rattle out. Of course, the Dogs down by 11. And as Cameron just made reference to, Elisha Puckett has fouled out here late in the third quarter. But what this does, it causes and it forces these other dogs to step up. So now Qualls will take it up the court. Leftmost side into the scorer's table.
Marshall has switched back to an extended 2-3. Gave us a little bit of trouble earlier. Maybe we can find. There we go. Get the ball in the middle. That's the right play.
Calling for the ball. Does a nice job of drawing the foul there. Too much contact, and Hickman County will inbound from the baseline. Looks like Tim Puckett is the man chosen to throw it in. Tim looking, just chucks it deep, and Qualls, nice job of regathering there. Tries to spin in, a foul yet again called on Marshall County. And a guy like Qualls, at his size, at his height, and with his aggressive tendencies, he is so hard to guard without fouling.
He is. I would love right there to see Dylan break down a little before to watch the help side right there. He almost got in a turnover. Thankfully, he swatted at it and fouled him. But I want to see this recognize where the help is coming from and pick his move there. But great job knocking that first one down.
So Qualls gets number one to fall, 39-28 now your score. Some substitutions coming in now for the Tigers. And that was Qualls' 10th point on the day, the leading scorer thus far for the Dogs. The second one rattles around and falls out of the basket. No good. Hickman County unable to rebound. Marshall County now in possession. Hickman County cheating up just a little bit. Of course, you have McKinnon guarding the underneath. McDonald just swarming. The ball handler throws it. His foot is dangerously close to midcourt, and he is able to get rid of it. And two Dogs again there swarming Marshall County. And then an errant pass there. Nice job fielding it by the Tiger. Another pass. Feints a three, driving in. Little floater. No good. Rebounded by Tim. And that's a nice job of securing it. And Cam, if you're the Dogs, you want to make sure you're taking the final shot. And McDonald, nice hops to corral it. And the pass goes off of a Marshall County player. Marshall back in control. They drive. 10 seconds now in the quarter. Marshall, they're going to take the final shot. Corner, the three. Blysted covering, no good. And Qualls just throws it well after the buzzer. Even if it went in, it would not count. So at the end of three, Hickman County trails by 11, 39-28. We will be taking our final ad break of the broadcast. Don't go anywhere.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
And we're back. At the end of three, Hickman County trails 39-28, but still with a whole fourth quarter left to play. Hickman County trots on McKinnon, Blysted, Tim Puckett, Dylan Qualls, and Will McDonald. Hickman County desperately needing someone to step up and take charge. And pass just shy of the three-point line. Tries to dribble in, floater, nice pass kick out by the Tigers. It's nice defense by McDonald to get his hand in there, but it will be recovered by Marshall County. Pass to the free throw stripe, drives in, kicks it back out. Right wing three, too much air underneath it. And McKinnon there playing tough defense. Using his big body, and McKinnon snatches it away, but they will call a foul. A lot of tough breaks here for Hickman County.
That's just a result of not being physical enough. We have got to be physical. We are huge compared to this team. They're quick, they're athletic, but we have the size and we're not using it right now.
So Marshall with some good ball movement, ball at the left wing, driving in. Nice job by Tim to knock it away. Blystead with the recovery there. A big takeaway from the Dogs. McDonald driving left side of the court. He's going to find McKinnon underneath, but it's slapped back to McDonald. Cross the way to Tim. Got it.
That's exactly what we need. Good quality shots to go up. We need as many shots as possible to go up.
And Tim Puckett, that was his second 3 on the game. And that was a beautiful shot. Now down to a one-score game, 8 points. Hickman County needs to tighten it up. Keep relying on their playmakers from 3. Marshall unable to
Great
get
job
it to fall.
defensively
McKinnon
there.
Using his height, his reach to jump up there and get the rebound. Hands it to McDonald. McDonald driving left side. Gives to Qualls at the free throw stripe. Looking to drive in, but kicks out to Blystead. Tim, he's feeling it from 3, no good. And it kicks off the side of the rim and falls on the baseline. Marshall County will take over. But I don't hate the shot selection there by Tim Puckett. Of course, he's the hot hand, just made a big 3. Why not trust the guy who's feeling himself a little bit?
Yeah, I don't mind the aggressiveness. I do want us, Qualls has been getting the feeling going. I would like to see him have a couple more shots so far.
And they're going to get McKinnon on another foul there. I mean,
that's a tough one there because his hands are up, but the guy went into his body. Honestly, I think it was a good move. I think it was clean defense, but they call what they call.
So that Wilson Howard to the free throw line. No good. His free throw attempt number 1.
You know what they say, Josh? Ball don't lie.
That remains to be seen with the second free throw. Now Hickman County, what they need to do, they need to rely on McKinnon Qualls. If it doesn't go in, they cannot surrender this rebound. And it's no good. And look at Brody Worley.
Absolutely not.
Oh, come on. And they're going to say it went out of bounds, but there have been plenty of times before where Marshall's had the ball all over the baseline. And of course, we know officials are human. We don't give the officials too much trouble, but I don't really agree with the call there. Hickman County has to rise above.
I think I'd give him a little trouble with that one, Josh.
Passing it in.
Oh, beautiful offense there by Marshall County.
So Marshall able to capitalize. Now Hickman County down by 10. Brown, the sophomore point guard, taking it up the court. Finds Qualls. Now to McKinnon at the right wing. Hands it to McDonald.
Good.
Pass to Qualls. Brown from underneath. Can't find it. A nice play drawn up there by the Dogs, but unable to capitalize.
Beautiful
the Tigers
basketball.
Back in possession, 5:47. And a nice job defensively to knock the ball out of bounds.
Great catch by that mom right there.
I think we all have a little athlete in us there, Cam, and that was on display there.
Absolutely. Those reflexes, like a cat. No wonder she's a tiger.
Now, of course, being in this arena, right, I mean, fans are right next to the action. You know, you should sign a waiver before you come to a high school basketball game, given the amount of danger you might be in with these guys slinging the ball all around the court.
That is one thing that I have been impressed with is Marshall County's guards have been making an initiative to sometimes take a chance with a pass. If you take a chance on an open teammate, I don't think there's an ever wrong thing in doing that. You know, not everybody loves the full court baseball pass, but sometimes putting a little zip on it and finding the guy in the short corner is always good. I've been impressed with that, but I've also been impressed with the Dogs' capability to recover on things like that on defense, and I do want to see us force them to put the ball on the floor in these last 5 minutes.
So following the timeout, Marshall County will inbound from the left baseline. I'll find Howard, left wing. I think Brown got a hand on it, but the pass still finds his man. from 3, the corner, wide open look. And he hits it, 44-31 now, 5:30 to go in the game. Brown taking up the court, tries to drive in, kicks it out to Qualls. Qualls from 3, left wing, no good, too much on it. And McKinnon tried for the rebound to no avail. Marshall basketball. And mishandles it a little bit there, does the Marshall County ball handler. A pass there to the right wing. McDonald all over it, so is Qualls. They'll find now the left wing, driving up to the free throw line, swings it out to the right. Will try to drive it in, kicks out to the right corner. Nice job by the Dogs to get a hand on it, and Worley, a great hustle play. And he gets it to McKinnon. And Dogs have the numbers advantage for the time being. Qualls drives in, overshoots it. No good. It looked like he may have had a lapse there. Cam couldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to dunk or lay up. And they'll bury yet another three-pointer, wide open look for Marshall County.
I think that's been a true story of the game. You see there, Marshall County capitalizing on mistakes. Sometimes we get that slip up from them and we're not taking the best shot, or we're not. Another turnover. Way to get on the floor from Braden Brown.
And Qualls goes up and he lays it in. So a nice job of the Dogs to capitalize on the chaos. And they get a couple points on the board. 4 minutes to go, 47-33 your score. Marshall, of course, taking their time, taking up the court. Hickman needs to play with a sense of urgency, passes it now, driving in, across the way, left corner. It's their hot hand, drives it in, tries the floater. And Cam, it looks like number 11 just cannot miss so far tonight.
No, these young men are playing a heck of a game, and you can't really. What they have done is they've made us play defense, and that 1-3-1 that was working so well, getting turnovers early in the game, they're making us stay in it and play defense for a long time, and that's been huge.
Man, and Cam, what I've noticed as well, I feel like Marshall County leaves themselves open for so many mistakes. I don't want to call them careless with the basketball, but they definitely have a free and easy approach when the ball is in their hands. So I think if you're Hickman County, continue pressing the advantage, force them to dribble, force them to drive, and maybe force a couple of turnovers, which we've seen so far. But as you said, we just haven't been able to capitalize to the best of our ability here tonight.
Yeah, every time we make them put the ball on the floor, a good result happens. But when they are shooting, whether it's a good shot, a bad shot, or anywhere in between, they're either finding the bottom of the basket or are able to get that offensive rebound.
And Mathis, who just checked into the game, goes up in the paint. It is knocked away, but there will be a foul called to number 22, Evan Mathis, the junior, as he goes to the free throw line. Looks like Braden Brown and Will McDonald having a miniature conference with Coach Dawson. Trying to figure out the best game plan here going into the final 3 minutes. And the first free throw rolls around the rim and slips out.
To have any shot these last 3 minutes, Josh, we have got to prioritize getting them to turn over the ball. Go for every steal we can, but for every opportunity that we have to make them make a mistake.
The ball knocked away, but they will call a foul on the Dogs. Brown and Mathis were both in hot pursuit. And they will get Brown, I believe, with his first on the game. And Cam, already, if we look at the comparison between the fouls this week and from a couple of days ago, or from tonight compared to a couple of days ago, rather, it seems like the Dogs are playing a lot more aggressive, and I think that's in turn leading to a lot more fouls. Of course, last Tuesday, we didn't think Elisha Puckett was ever in danger of fouling out. Of course, he does here tonight, and there are a couple of guys that have been guilty of some fouls as well. So I'm looking at Hickman County to learn to polish that up, of course, early in the season. So definitely some learning opportunities here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough opponent, and if you look at their roster, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seniors, Josh. 7. So that makes a huge difference in the game because these guys have played with each other for years. And so they know each other, they know each other's habits, and they don't have to gel too much. I think it's the same thing that we have with the Lady Dogs. Just early in the season, not necessarily jitters, but having no sense of togetherness yet, and I think that can attribute to a part of it.
And the layup attempt no good. Now Qualls in a breakaway, couple men to beat. Nice layup there by Dylan. And he'll tack on a couple of points for the Dogs. So now 2:15 to go. Dogs trail 51-35.
The thing that I noticed, the biggest difference between the night and the other night is the decisiveness of this team. When they are decisive, when they go, I'm going to take the shot and I'm going to be confident in making it, a good result happens.
Pass is errant, taken away by Marshall, and they will go up and in. And Marshall, even at this late in the game, they are swarming Hickman County with a press look here. Brown tries to gather, and he does. Tries to find Mathis, but he can't get over the leaping Tiger. And Qualls there to cut him off, and they will get Marshall County with a double dribble. Hickman County basketball as they trail by 20 with a minute and a half to go.
I think it's just we got down, we got where we felt like we were in an emergency, and we started getting undisciplined. I don't know what to attribute that to, but undisciplined play can't happen, and I want to see that change, especially now.
And McDonald tries to drive to the basket. The layup is no good, but he is fouled, and that will send number 4 to the free throw line for a couple. They look to close the gap here late.
I know we don't have much time left. I know it's a minute 30, but with this a minute 30, I don't care how it happens. I want to see us play disciplined with high energy. I think no matter what, if you end a bad game, this isn't even necessarily a bad game. Just if you end a game where you struggled on a positive note, that's a good translation to later.
I couldn't agree more. And Will McDonald, first free throw no good, second one is good. 36-55 now your score. Just over a minute to go. McDonald playing tight defense, still able to drive around him, and it is good. The floater there by the Tigers falls. 57-36 now, 64 seconds remaining in the contest. Qualls taking it now past the midcourt line. Pulls up from the free throw line, no good, falls just short. Hutchison tries to save it, loses a handle on it, and it will be Marshall County basketball.
Josh, it's down to one of those, like, you're trying to make something happen, and sometimes you just alligator arm it. I feel for Dylan. He's played well tonight. He really has, and I'm proud of him for doing so. I want to see, take control. These last few seconds, don't let them go to waste.
Now it looks like with 38 seconds now, Marshall is in chew clock mode. McDonald on the ball handler. And the Dogs collapse to the basket, kicks it out to the corner, no good is the three. McDonald there with the rebound, but he loses handle on it. They're fighting. McDonald secures it, taking it past the logo, and they will get Marshall County on a foul. And that's what I love about this team, Cam. Guys like Will McDonald, guys who are expected to be the leaders on this team, they're playing hard to the bitter end. And I think that's something that all of these younger, lower classmen can learn from going forward.
Yeah, that makes it for a promising season, really. I know these Dogs have high hopes, and I really do think they'll achieve them. I think we have the talent. I think we have the size. I think a game like this is good for character building and good because it puts us through some controversy and makes us push through it.
And they're fighting under the basket. Mathis, nice job of asserting himself. And Cam, I think that's what you meant by finishing the game on a positive note. I mean, look at the hustle Mathis was showing. Didn't have too many minutes in this game, but he finished it strong with a nice putback there. Gets the Bulldogs a couple of more points to bring the final score 57-38 tonight as the final buzzer sounds.
Yeah, I absolutely love that we didn't quit to the very last second. And I can't wait to see how this team grows through this and from this. And I think only promising things from here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you tuning in to our broadcast here tonight on WNKX, and we encourage you and invite you to not go anywhere. Here in just a few moments, we will have a word with Coach Dawson, get his feedback and thoughts on the game and how the Bulldogs will prepare for the Thanksgiving tournament that begins next Monday as the Hickman County Bulldogs face Siegel at Siegel. The game will have a 2 p.m. start time, and you may be wondering, well, why the awkward start? Of course, it is Thanksgiving break next week, and we hope to be able to bring this game live to you. But we will let you know updates as they arrive our way. But Cam, as you said, I think as much as the Bulldogs are going to hang their heads on this performance because they are competitors, right? It's hard to see the opportunities to learn in the moment. I think these are things you have to look back on when you wake up the next morning and see, you know what, it didn't go our way, but I definitely could have done this better. I could have made this shot. I could have capitalized on this mistake. And I know that's exactly what Hickman County is going to do because this team really does have great chemistry. These guys, not only do they work well together, but they have fun on the court, right? They don't just see it as a responsibility. They don't see it as a chore. They take the opportunity to step onto this floor as a privilege.
Absolutely, and I think you saw that at the end of the game. The willingness to not quit to the last second, though. Now, they got sloppy at the end, and I understand. Sometimes when you're trying to make things happen, you get sloppy. But I truly do love how you could see glimpses of what this team could be as this game went on, even through the mistakes, even through things that didn't go their way. I think, and I don't want to speak for Coach Dawson, but I think that he's going to go in and I think he's going to talk about, hey guys, we know what we have done wrong. You are experienced. You just need to trust yourselves. I think that's what I saw tonight was a little bit of lack of trust in their own ability because, let's be honest, Marshall County shot the ball very well tonight and they rebound the ball very well tonight, and those two things build a ton of confidence. And I think going forward, like you said, they have fun. I don't think that they were putting the fun in the game tonight as much as they normally would. And that, I think, is going to make the difference, is going in, believing in each other, believing in yourself, and knowing that you can beat anybody.
Well, and Cam, another point that I'd like to add on this performance that we saw here tonight, I think both of these teams definitely had a clash of styles, right, in terms of how each team approached the game. And it seems like Marshall County certainly prioritizes speed. And the old adage goes, speed kills. And I think that is definitely what gave Marshall County an edge here tonight. I think there were so many times that I saw that their speed would result in takeaways. It would result in fast breaks where maybe we couldn't catch up, and if we did, we felt a sense of desperation, so we had to make contact, and that would be, or they would draw a foul. There would be a lack of communication because you didn't have time to communicate. You'd have guys swarming, too many guys swarming a ball handler, and you leave guys open in the corner and beyond the perimeter all around. And that would leave the shots wide open for threes, and I think that was really the difference maker here tonight.
The pace of play. When you dictate the pace of what's going on, you win the basketball game. You know, whether it was a clash of styles, and when you see that, you have to know that you have to play at your pace. You see all these great players throughout history. They play at their own pace. That's what they talk about. Like NBA guys like Luka Doncic, not the most athletic guy, plays at a pace, best player in the world, arguably. But more so, if your team can buy in to the pace that you want to play at, you dictate what happens. And so pace of play, I think, is a big part in the success of the Dogs going forward.
I'm sure that will definitely be a point of emphasis in the locker room here as Coach Dawson has a meeting with his guys. And that's something that I think we definitely need to talk to him about. Ask him how they tried to adjust to this clash of styles. Of course, Marshall being an up-tempo, very high-octane team, And the Bulldogs, being a team, likes to slow things down. They don't rely as much on their individual speed as players, but they rely on the speed of their ball movement, right? They love confusing defenses, and they use that confusion to get guys like Elisha, to get guys like Will McDonald, to even get guys like Tim, which we saw a couple of times tonight, give them open looks. And more often than not, when they are given open looks, they're going to capitalize. And I think tonight what we did see as well, we saw a combination of Hickman not capitalizing on takeaways or Marshall County miscues. But sometimes I think the reality that we hate to accept sometimes is that not every shot will fall. You can have the best look, you can have as good a mechanics as you want, but that doesn't mean that a shot won't bounce off the rim and kick around and fall out, right?
Yeah, you got to remember, even Steph Curry only shoots like 50% from the floor. So everybody's going to miss. And some nights it is an off night. And I think tonight, it wasn't necessarily an off night for the Dogs, but it wasn't one that was in their dictation. And I think that is what made it feel kind of out of control at times. I would say that that's a good way to describe the way that it felt when things weren't going at their best. Is a little bit out of control, and that's okay early in the season. That's a learning point, and from there you adjust and learn.
Well, and Cam, you make a good point about it being early in the season, and I think that as much as we have to give praise to that first win, right, everyone in Hickman County was fired up after Tuesday, a huge win to start the season, but I would argue there are few games more important than your first loss, right, because that is the first time your back is really against the wall. It's the first time your character is really tested. And Hickman County, they have to make a decision. Are they going to wallow in defeat? Or are they going to take the few days that they have to prepare for the Thanksgiving Classic at Siegel and be better?
I think a part of it is rest. We had a short rest period for this game. It doesn't matter who you are playing for the first game. It doesn't matter if you win by 1,000,000. You're going to have so much energy in that first game. You have to be able to match it in your second or get somewhere close, and it's hard to emulate that first game because you're so excited. Your whole season, the whole offseason has been waiting on that moment, and I think that's a part of it is the energy that we played with tonight was not as good as the first game, and I think that being, like you said, early in the season, the most important game arguably is the first loss. So I think this motivates us to get ourselves in the right mindset from here on out.
Well, and Cam, I think what the first loss of the season does as well, not only does it test your character, but it brings you back to reality just a little bit, right? Because I think as much as you would like to play with this level of confidence that you had in your first game, as much as you want to have faith in yourself, as much as you want to believe in the depths of your soul that you will beat every team by 50 points, that's just not the nature of the game. All right, there are ups and downs, and without these defeats, I think you wouldn't be able to appreciate wins near as much, right? You wouldn't be able to learn near as much. And I think that's what makes basketball and really sports in general so beautiful, right? Because it forces us to be better. It forces us to reflect on who we are and how we play, how we conduct ourselves, and how we go about our business. And that can be applied to any walk of life, but especially here on the floor. And I think our guys, I mean, Coach Dawson, there's few coaches that I would trust more with these guys to encourage them, to uplift them. I know these guys love playing for him, right? There's a reason he's been at Hickman County for as long as he has, right? Because not only do the kids trust him, but the parents trust him, his fellow faculty and staff trust him. And I think as well, something that we can note is what does the addition of young Tyler Stacks mean to this team?
You know, having a young guy like that as a coach can sometimes be a little rough, sometimes not, but one thing it does is brings a recognizable and relatable face to that, and I think moments like this is where Tyler can shine the most. Having a guy that just graduated be like, hey man, I've been through this same thing. He can step up and be such a valuable piece of that coaching staff by saying, like, I've been in your shoes, I know what it's like, especially to the seniors. I was just there. So helping them through a tough loss like this and motivate them for the future.
Well, I think one of Tyler's most important roles as an addition to this coaching staff is the building of team chemistry that he's able to do, right? He knows these guys. He played with a lot of these guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he impacts this team. And I think Coach Dawson has a great staff around him as well. We see the addition of Brian Buttry as well. And this guy, as we mentioned on Tuesday, he's a jack of all trades, right? He grew up an athlete, a very successful one. Of course, he is familiar with multiple sports, basketball, football, baseball. He is so knowledgeable on so much. And I think he brings a very unique element to this team as well. We talked about the impact Tyler has, and as well, having a man who's on the younger side in his own right, and DJ Key, right? We know that as athletic director, he has a lot of responsibilities. He's unable to be as involved as he probably would like to. But of course, him also working with the football team, there are a couple of guys, one in particular that stands out, Braden Brown, who played on this football team, who's familiar with guys like Coach Buttry, with guys like Coach Key. And I think these unique and special relationships these guys have with this coaching staff is so important, and I think it's definitely something that they can lean on in times of struggle.
Yeah, they were athletes. That's what they were. They're athletes, and the best thing you can do is surround these guys with not only a variety of very experienced athletes, may I add, but surrounding them with different ages, different points of view, different places they've been and experiences. Each guy brings a unique perspective to the coaching staff, and I think that only elevates what is possible for these guys.
And Cam, you hit the nail on the head there with what you said. And ladies and gentlemen, here in just a few moments, a reminder, we will have Coach Dawson joining us here on our WNKX Bulldog post-game show. We'll have an ad break, and we'll be back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
We're back in just 1 minute. WNKX would like to thank these community partners for helping to make tonight's broadcast possible. Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital, Pizza Hut of Centerville, McDonald Funeral Home, Advocate Auto Body, Liberty Pharmacy, and the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative.
Chicago an apology.
Tavern style pizza is our thing.
Why couldn't you be happy with deep dish like all the tourists? That's good.
And you just had to make it so crispy and delicious.
It's perfection.
They put the toppings all the way to the edge.
It's cutting the shareable square.
That's delicious.
What's your deal, Pizza Hut?
Your secret's out, Chicago. Try any of our large Chicago Tavern-style recipes for just $12 each.
Hey, Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Apology accepted.
Smart appliances, heating and cooling, solar, electric vehicles, mobile apps. Energy impacts your life in many ways.
It's our job to power the technology that brings comfort and value to your busy life.
Your life,
your way.
So you're in the driver's seat.
Let us help. Contact the energy pros at Meriwether Lewis Electric.
And as we prepare for the arrival of Coach Dawson, of course, that is one of the more unpredictable elements about the game. A post-game conference with your team can run long, it can run short. But for now, in the meantime, we'd like to give a special thank you to all of our viewers, those that tuned in via YouTube or Facebook. This isn't possible without you, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity here at WNKX to be able to come inside your living room and to bring you high school basketball. It's been such a privilege for us to be able to do this, and it wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you to our viewers, and once again, a thank you to our sponsors, who we cannot thank enough. Of course, those at MLEC, those at Ascension St. Thomas, Advocate Auto Body, Pizza Hut, no one out-pizzas the Hut, Liberty Pharmacy, and McDonald Funeral Home. And if you see any representatives of these organizations about your community in the coming week, say hello and tell them thank you on behalf of WNKX. And the players begin to file out of the locker room, ladies and gentlemen, and the arrival of Coach Dawson is imminent. And Cam, you know, while we have a few more minutes, as I said, it's so unpredictable how long they take. Of course, this is your first time broadcasting with us at WNKX. Welcome, and I'm sure all the people watching and listening appreciated your knowledge and what you had to give. So thanks for being with us here tonight.
Absolutely, I loved being here. Not my first experience on the radio, but first experience of a live game. That was definitely different than what I used to do. I used to do a talk show. So I love the new experience, and I think it's something I could really get into.
Cam, and we definitely appreciate the time you dedicated to being here with us at WNKX, and we certainly look forward to having you back here in the future. And once again, a very special thank you to our cameraman for the night, Aiden Weber. Of course, Mr. Dotson has put together a wonderful AV class. It's been very successful, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to allow these kids to get some real-life experience working with production and things such as this. So a very special thank you to Mr. Dotson and all the work he's done for us here at WNKX at providing a student-led team, and they do such a wonderful job. And folks, unfortunately, we regret to inform you that we have been run out of here. Of course, that is the downside of being in an away game. We don't have as much time as we normally do at home, but we will try to make these interviews a regular occurrence. But we still thank you for joining us all the same here on WNKX Live. I've been Josh Copley, your play-by-play announcer, joined tonight for the first time, Cameron Peters as our color commentator. We thank him for what he's done. Folks, we will see you next week as the Bulldogs begin the Thanksgiving Classic. Good night, everyone.